subdivision. With a coin flip won by Florida State, they'll kick it away and defer to the second half. This is the first game of the season for Jacksonville State out of Jacksonville, Alabama. Just about midway between Atlanta and Birmingham as you travel west. And the third all-time meeting between these two programs. They have split the previous two. And there will be no return. We'll keep it in the end zone for Jacksonville State. They went 6-6 a season ago, 3-5 in conference play. And their quarterback is Eric Cooper. 60 career touchdown passes. He'll lead the offense onto the field to get it rolling for the Gamecocks, James, in enemy territory.
Yeah, and let's not forget, this is game number 1, the season opener of a shortened 4-game season for Jacksonville State here in the fall. They plan to play 7 more later in the spring. There's a look at the numbers one more time from last season. Turnovers were an issue last year. They said he's had a very good camp on the turnover front and also become more of a leader. We'll find out what he's all about here in 2020.
Cooper wants to toss it. A reaching grab by Trey Barry, the tight end, makes the catch. Jacksonville State.
Just like McDonald on the other side of the ball, you got a couple good guys there at tight end for Jacksonville State.
Let's take a look, James, at today's Impact Players, brought to you by your local Toyota dealer.
All right, Uriah West, they've got 4 guys they can go to in the backfield. He's probably the most complete right now. And Amari Gaynor, boy, has he been fun to watch all over the field. First couple games for the Noles this season.
2nd and 2. Gamecocks get the first down near the 40-yard line. Michael Matthews, the running back, the junior from Mobile, Alabama, with the run and a first down for the Gamecocks.
See, one of the 4. They'll go Uriah West, Josh Samuel, Pat Jackson, or Michael Matthews. Glad they called the number of 21 right there. Jacksonville State, a little bit of pop after that good blocking by the offensive line that's really grown up in the offseason. Thrown into the fire last year and fresh set of downs from the opening drive.
8 times the champions in their conference. Jacksonville State brings in quite a tradition of success, especially over the last decade at the football championship subdivision level. Opening moments of our first quarter, they'll flip it forward. That's Charleston. He gets near the 45-yard line. Number 19, Quan Charleston, the junior from Linden, Alabama.
Nice little play to get you a few on first down. This is a team that doesn't take many tackles for loss. They've got backs and receivers in this case. Go north and south. Get me a couple right now. He does just that, puts his hands down, shoulder pads down, and 2nd down and 5. Good situation to be in for Jacksonville State.
Pass incomplete. Looking for Uriah West. 20 for the Gamecocks. And Emmett Rice, who was in the area to make the play, and it's 3rd and 5 for Jacksonville State and Coach Ross.
Even on the first completion, Cooper, a little bit high and hard. Trey Barry fortunately goes up and able to pull it down. He just needs to settle down a little bit. You know, he started a lot of football games, but again, this is game number 1 of this season. In Doak Campbell Stadium, relax and make those open throws, make them easy, like you've done so many times, not only in practice, but in games. Big 3rd down here now in the opening series.
They'll swing it out to the left. This is going to be West. And he is going to be short of the marker and 4th down, just beyond the 45 of Jacksonville State. And we'll take a moment just to apologize for some audio issues. We are working on that from Tallahassee. And it is 4th down, punting unit for Jacksonville State.
I'll tell you what, Akeem Dent, fantastic job there at the cornerback spot. He may not be credited with the tackle, but he fought his receiver to keep that edge right there. His buddies made the play. Nice stop for the Noles.
Pelton, the deep man on the punts. Here is 5. He is spun down. They'll put the forward progress at the 6.
George the Animal Steele getting down there, Tom. This is such a big part of this game. Coach Ross said we cannot give up explosive plays, especially on special teams. Well, if you're covering like that, like George the Animal Steele, you're doing all right. Good punt and excellent job covering it. Lee, look at this. New sheriff in town, the true freshman, Tate Rodemaker.
So Rodemaker, who saw action in the second half last week against Miami in the losing effort, 5 of 9 through the air, 1 interception. He threw for 47 yards. Flag came out. Ball was on the turf on that snap. We were going to lose a couple. Sanders disrupting the play.
Defense, number 12, 5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, I mentioned you can't give up the explosives. You also can't give some freebies like that. Here's an opportunity. A decent snap. Rodemaker mishandles it, and you bail them out. They're going to have the ball right on their goal line. Instead, Sanders jumps the transfer from Florida, and it's first down and 5.
Rodemaker, the quarterback for Florida State. Sends it out. Near the 10 and wrestled down. That was Terry trying to get the ball to number 5. You highlighted him at the top of the broadcast, and we move right to today's impact player. James, brought to you by your local Toyota dealer.
Well, of course, Terry, but watch out for Cam McDonald. He's another leader on this offense. It's such a special tight end. So many great tight ends. You watch college football right now. It's fun to watch, and 87 is as good as they get. Very tough guy. And Zach Woodard will make just about every tackle out of there, it seems.
This is Corbin. They'll bring up third down now as Jeremiah Harris making the stop. The run by Corbin.
Nice job by Harris. The play before. Good job by another cornerback on the other team. Mentioned Florida State earlier. These cornerbacks, they got to be tough and set those edges. It was Fuqua, Kobe Fuqua, 2 plays ago. So back-to-back good plays for the defense. And here's the first third down for Rodemaker on his first start.
He's going to roll that pocket to his left. Throw on the run. It's intercepted, and it's in the end zone. Kobe Fuqua. You just mentioned his name, James. He intercepts the freshman quarterback and takes it into the end zone for the Gamecocks.
Tom, you mentioned the action that Rodemaker got against Miami. Eyeballed a receiver in that game the whole way through and threw an interception. Defense reading and breaking on his eyes. Fuqua seemed to do the same thing right here, just out there in the flat. Rodemaker doesn't see him, throws it right to him, and it's an easy 6 for the Gamecocks.
14 yards on the return after the interception, James, and it's in the end zone for the Gamecocks. A stunning TD to take the 7-0 lead.
Oscar is not disabled, he's differently able.
He was going to be on the same track as able-bodied athletes.
The Paralympian known as the Blade Runner has been arrested for killing his girlfriend.
It wasn't a whodunit, it was why done it.
The O.J. Simpson of South Africa.
He kept saying, I didn't mean to do it.
Why would a man kill a woman that he loves?
Circle in the block, 2 times, you know how we rock. You know who he knocked on, you know who he shot. You know how he come for nothing I got. Just wanna have
fun. With the Home Depot app, your phone is your most powerful tool. Find just what you need in a snap. Get a second opinion in seconds and have it all delivered free. Download today. The Home Depot. How doers get more done.
The NBA Finals.
Davis, a 3 for the win. He hit it.
You can't afford to miss a layup when you win the playoffs.
Where legends are born and legacies are made.
To celebrate a title.
And you know I'ma make it.
Got it, Jimmy Buckets. Bang! Bam says get it out of here. Hammer time for LeBron James.
The NBA Finals on ABC, presented by YouTube TV. Rise together.
With the interception of the freshman quarterback for Florida State, Rodemaker, into the end zone. Officially a 13-yard return, 7-0. Gamecocks have the lead here in Tallahassee in the first quarter.
All right. Okay, here's Fuqua, the transfer from Auburn, the former Tiger sophomore from Cordova, Alabama. And they're just going to watch the eyes and watch the roll of Rodemaker as he just drops out into the flat there on the zone, doing a good job of going up and plucking it, tucking it away. And an easy trip into the end zone for Fuqua. And John Gross, the Gamecocks, on top here in their season opener. They're on this fine October weekend.
Keyshawn Helton is deep.
Travis Jay injured, won't play today, so Helton getting some return action here today.
5 yards deep, he's coming out. Past the 20. Helton dragged down near the 35-yard line. Good decision to come out of that end zone on the return for Florida State of 40 yards.
Flag down. Well, it's good to see Helton back out there. Had the season-ending injury last year after the 3 touchdown catches.
Offside, kicking team. 5-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the run. First down.
Gary Patterson is our referee for this afternoon's game as we take a look at today's keys to the game, brought to you by your local Ford dealer with James Bates.
Yeah, Smokey and the Bandit. For Jacksonville State, you got to stop the explosives. You got to stop them from speeding, right? You got to play the sheriff. And for Florida State, you got to get more like the Bandit, like Burt Reynolds and Smokey and the Bandit. Just fast and confident and have fun. Not having fun right now, down 7-0. Keep churning there in the backfield, though.
Burt Reynolds, the late legend here at Florida State in Tallahassee. That was with Damian Webb on the run, number 8 for the Noles.
Quickly over the ball again, Rodemaker and the Noles.
Second down toss. Too high for the intended receiver. Tamarian Terry.
Some guys on that defensive front getting some decent push on this offensive line that's been shuffled around a little bit here today. They're starting Scott, the true freshman, at right tackle. And it goes without saying, there have been some issues on that offensive line, especially last weekend against Miami. They got to stand their ground against these 3- and 4-man rushes, especially.
52-10 loss last week against the Hurricanes. This on the Jacksonville State side of the 50, incomplete near the 45-yard line to Terry. And the sticks are moving for the Noles.
Nice strike thrown right here. There's the protection. Jacksonville State brings 4. Nice quick throw. Terry, number 5 this year, now is sitting there waiting on it. And that's one thing about Rodemaker last week. He threw that interception at Miami, but he shook it off and came back in and played some good football. Looks to be right back on his horse here.
Last play for 11 yards. This one for about as many inside the 35-yard line. It's Ontario Wilson with the catch and run for Florida State.
All right, that little screen over there after that diamond set, bunch set, and Pokey Wilson going to come away with this, so it's a little bit more like it.
That's their first time out.
Consecutive 11-yard gains for Mike Norvell's team. First down and driving at the 32 of Jacksonville State, which has taken a timeout. It is 7-0 Gamecocks.
Army Rangers are taught to make tough decisions.
1950. The Noles allowed 25% capacity for today's game. You'll hear and see those fans sitting in the stadium and watching their team drive it down the field with 9:43 to go in our first quarter. Some jumping on that line. Flags follow the whistles. Let's see what Gary Patterson has to say, our referee.
Look like that right.
Offside. Defense in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. First down.
A bit quick. That's the second time today the defensive line has been a little bit quick. That time it's Gordon, the redshirt freshman from Montgomery, Alabama. Umstead Sanders had one earlier, helping him out a little bit after that first down. Now you got another first down and 5.
Rodemaker at quarterback after James Blackman started last week, going for 120 yards. Pressure on Rodemaker, and they lose a lot of yardage on that play. He got sacked. Back past the 40.
Well, The timing, you hear it so many times, that internal clock, and sometimes it just takes reps at this level and the speed that's at this level. And yeah, he played against some great competition. They're just about an hour and a half away at Valdosta High School. But still, you got to get rid of that football if your guy's not open. Good job in the secondary as well by the Gamecocks.
Loss of 14 on that previous play. They'll come to the near side, try to get near that 35-yard line. Wilson on the catch.
Fuqua. Interception return for the touchdown, only points of this game. Very active there from his outside backer position.
3rd and 15 now for Florida State. The 37 of Jacksonville State. Rodemaker. Those edges bend in. He escapes. Tries the stutter step move near the 30-yard line. Well, short of the first down.
You know what? You'll take it, though. He doesn't give up the sack right there. He feels the pressure, nothing doing. Escapes one. Gets a few and makes this field goal try a little bit easier.
So Fitzgerald will try from 49 yards away. Redshirt freshman has attempted one kick this season and connected at Miami from 26 yards away. This from 49. Outside of the pipe and no good. So that sack, James, was costly.
Yes, very much so, but still a makeable distance here and just pushes it right. And Jacksonville State, after giving up some ground there in the middle of the field, stiffens in a nice big sack. After it was a 1st down and 5 as well. Dropping for a 14-yard loss and coming up empty on drive number 2.
So Coach Norvell back on the sidelines after the COVID diagnosis a week ago, but as Lindsay told us, 100% healthy, ready to roll with his team, but here in the first quarter, unable to harvest points after that previous drive and the missed field goal. And now back to the air for Cooper, shoulder down beyond the 40-yard line and close to a 1st down. Dave Russell III.
Feeling a little bit of juice, Jacksonville State right now. The ends of these runs, early on you saw the running backs. Here you're going to see the receivers. Up top there's Russell and turn and get what he can. Gainer's over there to try to make the stop, but slips out of his arms. To meet fire with fire. They're gonna keep churning to the very end. This Jacksonville State squad. You better expect it out of this squad.
Cooper still has it. Not a lot of room available. Being driven back, they'll mark the forward progress to the 41. Amari Gainer coming up to support his teammates on the play.
I can't even imagine you guys were talking about Norvell earlier, and Lindsay did the hit. Just head football coaches are always in control. To come in and not just dealing with COVID over the last couple of weeks, them to have spring practice on Zoom basically. It's been interesting for them all. There's a nice stop.
Cooper's pass complete to Charleston. He got stopped at about the 45-yard line, James.
That's Jerry and Jones. Couple Mississippi State transfers on this squad. One of them, Lovett, is starting today on the defensive line. There's Jones hanging on tight, letting his buddies come help clean it up. Jerry and the sophomore from Magee, Mississippi. And here's a 3rd down. In a blitz-type situation, perhaps, for a team that only has 1 on the season.
Cooper throws it near the 45 of Florida State, and that's complete. Catch made by Russell again, and that's good for a 1st down for the Gamecocks.
Wow, excellent job of Russell to hook it up right there at the sticks, knowing where you got to get, and firing it in there. Zarek Cooper, just a bullet thrown in there. He was off the mark early on a couple, one they caught, and one was a little bit too hard and low, but that one was perfect, right in the numbers where only Russell could get it and change move again.
Passes again, and that's complete. Trey Berry. And that's good enough for a first down at the 35 of Florida State. Let's check in with Lindsey Moore on the tight end for Jacksonville State.
Yep, Zarek Cooper already using Trey Berry a lot here earlier. Trey ran into a little bit of a snag last season as he had a season-ending knee injury on the first drive of the 5th game. Spoke with Trey. It really, really broke his heart to not be able to finish the year. But after surgery, 8 weeks of no weight bearing on his leg, intense therapy, he's back at it. Zarek Cooper referred to him as right-hand man, and Coach Gross said, pretty sure Zarek's happy to have his security blanket back. Guys?
Lindsey made the catch on the previous play for a first down, and now penalty markers are out on this play.
Yeah,
and Russell was the target, James, and Samuel back there for Florida State.
Well, Samuel in perfect position, and he's too good of a cornerback not to watch those eyes.
Pass interference, defense, number 26, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
26 could have had pick number 3 on this. He got tangled up a little bit in there, and Russell may have had a hold on him as well. He couldn't get flipped around. Maybe that's why he's so upset there. I thought at first that he just didn't snap his head around, and I don't think he could. I think he was stuck. Best cover guy for Mike Norvell. And costly penalty there, keeping this drive alive.
2 interceptions in that first game of the season against Georgia Tech for Samuel. Whistled for the infraction, ball at the 20. Around the edge on the run by Samuel towards the goal line and in for the touchdown for Jacksonville State. Josh Samuel on the carry to the end zone for the Gamecocks. 20 yards on the run, James. An extra point away from 14-0 in the first quarter, JSU.
They set that up on the opening drive, Tom, where they brought the end around the receiver on the little jet sweep. They showed that action, and everybody in Florida State uniform going the other way. A bit of a dipsy-do, and an excellent job as we watch this replay here in a second. Watch Russell, who's had some big catches early in this game. He helps spring that, and they give it to their fastest running back. A transfer from Western Kentucky. We're waiting to kick this. Go ahead and show it to you right here. So here we go. They're looking at it in the booth, and we will too. There's the misdirection, and there's Samuel at the gate. Look at the blocking there, and look, presence of mind to let go, make sure you don't hang on. And there's a shot, but it's a little too late. Samuel's already into the end zone and trying to go up 14-0.
Alan Karajic from Ooltewah, Tennessee, in for the extra point. Wow, James, 14-0 Gamecocks.
And Cooper through the air, and this time the Gamecocks on the ground. Josh Samuel, corner of the end zone, and what? 14-0 early.
We at the ACC know that change needs to occur.
Despite our rivalry.
Rodemaker getting his first start, the true freshman Noel. And then, after getting sacked and shut down offensively, the Noles unable to stop the drive by Jacksonville State, led by that guy right there, Zarek Cooper, the big quarterback transfer from Clemson.
James, it's today's 5-star drive summary, brought to you by Yellowwood.
You believe me? Doesn't say Yellowwood, you don't want it. I recognize that
HBC.
Right here, right? All right. Josh Samuel, fastest back on the team, the junior out of Greenville, South Carolina, and the transfer from Western Kentucky, capping off that 6-play, 68-yard drive. Made up 2:45 on this Doak Campbell Stadium clock. So what are you going to do, Florida State? Obviously, plenty of meat on this bone, a lot of football to be played, and you thought for sure after a great week of practice, Wednesday was the best practice we've had since I've been here, said Mike Norvell. You don't want to lose that spark that you felt like you had coming into this one. You got to find a way to get back on track before going to Notre Dame next week. Big, tough stretch of the schedule. First things first, though, you got 3+ quarters of football, and it starts right here. I'd like to see him put together a nice little drive and go answer.
Helton, the return man, meets it at the 2. Stopped at the 15-yard line. Helton on the return of 13 yards.
Well, Tom, look at him cover. You know, Helton, we just saw the damage that he did the last time, but on the punt earlier and then this time on the kickoff, these guys are covering. The third phase of this game has always been so important for these two coaches, and one of the reasons why John Gross has had so much success there at Jacksonville State is because of the kicking game, and they set their defense up in a nice position here. Ball on the 16-yard line for Rodemaker.
We'll see what he can do on his third series, James, and if he earns more playing time in this first quarter. What do you think? We'll start with the ground game. Toafili.
You know, the one thing, the unknown when you talk quarterbacks here is poor James Blackman. Of course he's banged up. He stays banged up because he's taken so many licks. There's a look at number 1 over there, the junior from Glade Central. But I think Jordan Travis, I don't think he practiced much this week. You know, another name there that's been, they haven't had his services is Chubba Purdy. But right now, they hope that number 18 can run this show and run it smoothly.
On 2nd and 7, Rodemaker has to improvise, and there's nowhere to go, and he's sacked down by the 6-yard line. Looked like Coleman and Umstead, Sanders. I'll meet you at the quarterback.
Which quarterback you going to meet him at? That's the question for Noah fans. And again, we're not sure of the help, but that's this season the numbers. Jordan Travis really made some things happen against Miami, and many of them different positions. He's a very good athlete. Played for former roommate and teammate of mine, Eric Kresser, down there at the Benjamin School in West Palm, and hope he's healthy. But here now on 3rd down, we just lived to punt it away. But how about this defense? Defense is getting after it, and they're getting after that offensive line that has just struggled so much the last couple years. 48 sacks allowed last year, and they keep on giving them up. They gave up 5 sacks against Miami in the first half alone. They made some adjustments here today, but it doesn't seem to be working against this Gamecock defense early.
4th down for the Noles. Just 18 total yards. Jacksonville State, after that previous drive, a touchdown run, 20 yards by Samuel, dominating on the scoreboard and in total yardage as well.
Barely got that one off.
Mastromano, a tumbler, takes a nice Noles bounce just on the Jacksonville State side of the 50. And coming up tomorrow on your regional sports networks, we've got ACC women's soccer. We've got 2 games for you. We start at noon. It's Boston College at Louisville, and then Pitt and Virginia Tech to follow at 3. Soccer played at its highest level in the collegiate ranks in the ACC, in a doubleheader for you tomorrow of ACC women's soccer. 6 teams out of the conference ranked in the top 15 in the early part of this season for women's soccer, and 2 games coming up tomorrow for you.
Jen Hildreth on one of those games, probably?
Actually, I'm calling both of those games tomorrow.
Shoot, I was hoping for Jen Hildreth.
Along with Morgan Conklin.
She's way cooler than you.
You'll get no argument from me there. Morgan Conklin, the former Virginia Tech soccer standout, will join me tomorrow. This play, diagnosed. Florida State had it all the way this time.
Good job, Kando. Welcome back, Josh Kando. Number 3 coming in there trying to chip him off, get a little bit of a block. That's Pat Jackson, the running back, but nothing doing. Got just whiffed on him. He didn't play against Miami. Boy, are they glad to have him back right now, dropping him for a 7-yard loss.
Just the 3rd meeting between the teams. They met all the way back in 1947 at Jacksonville State. Came to Tallahassee and won 7-0 back in 1947. First year of the Florida State program.
Russell not afraid to go right over the middle, knowing he's going to take a couple shots. There's 1 and 2. He keeps churning those legs. And how about that? You had 2nd down and 17, and that'll work. A lot more manageable on a 3rd down and 6.
So Russell now with 3 catches for 30 yards. Cooper's 9 of 10 and 52 yards. Wants to throw it again. Has to run out of that pocket, try to move the pile towards the 45 of Florida State. They'll mark it at the 46. It's still well short of the first down. Fabian Lovett in on the play.
Here you can see the coverage by Florida State. Remember on a big third down just a few moments ago, they hooked up right there at those sticks. They're on top of them. You don't want to throw it underneath a couple of those guys. Not going to do much there. So Cooper decides to tuck it. And you see him fighting. This is a football team offensively. Just give me one. Just, you know, don't fall for a loss. Don't get dropped for a loss. And Cooper tries to carry the pile for a couple more, but that's a long way to go. He only gets one, so good stand for the defense.
Nelton to receive the punt. Wants a fair catch and makes it successfully at the 12-yard line of Florida State. So now the fourth series of the game. Florida State was driving on the second series, James, but a sack took them way back, and then a 49-yard field goal miss from Ryan Fitzgerald. So far, that the only chance at points, and here comes Tate Rodemaker once again. Gets another chance at it. Rodemaker 4 of 6, just 28 yards in the interception.
Tate, the son of a football coach. His dad, Alan, was his coach at Valdosta High. One of the best high school football programs in the nation.
Pass complete near the 10-yard line. Toafili. And now we're down to 35 seconds to go in our first quarter, and it's 14-0. Jacksonville State, as Jeremiah Harris made the play.
Checking over with Kenny Dillingham. Rodemaker is the offensive coordinator. There's been a revolving door there at that offensive coordinator spot around here the last few years. They'd like to get some consistency and get some success.
Rodemaker throws on the run again. That one is completed out of bounds. Able to hit Keyshawn Helton. Final seconds of our first quarter. And that score is correct. 6 of 8 for Rodemaker, but the interception that was returned for a touchdown by Colby Fuqua, 13 yards. And Coach Norvell's team has plenty of work to do. 15 minutes complete, James Bates, and they're in a 14-point hole.
I got work to do. Got work, baby. You got plenty of time, though. 3 quarters of football left, and a guy that's had some great offensive success over the years. They need to get some points on the board here in Doak Campbell Stadium right now, trailing by 14.
At Florida State University, we're proving that students from all walks of life.
This is Peanut Butter Cups.
Just 25 total yards. -8 on the ground for Florida State. And, you know, the turnovers, of course, the catch and the score. How about this catch?
First down and more. 40-yard line of the grab. Cameron McDonald for Florida State. 23 yards on the play, James.
There's the fire you're looking for. The big man. Nice little out route. And how about the throw? That's an interception waiting to happen if it's thrown a little bit softer, right on the money. And a good job by McDonald to look it in, tuck it and go.
Helton made the catch there after the third down conversion. Just beyond the 40 as Macario Harper, number 1 for JSU. In on the stop. First-year head coach Mike Norvell.
And Tom, who was that? Was that George Steele there that came underneath? Thought he had maybe the second pick 6 of this game for the defense.
2nd and 9. Rodemaker buys a little bit of time and then makes a very good decision to sail that one into his own bench. Jordan Young, closest Florida State receiver, and we're right back to 3rd down and long for Coach Norvell.
Yeah, just over and over, you hate to see your true freshman quarterback getting in these situations, these 3rd down and longs. We need 9 right here. We've got on our graphic. It's on the field a little bit closer to 7, maybe 8. Regardless, you got to make it to the 50-yard line. Keep this drive alive. Take care of that football. Don't give them good field position again.
2 for 5 on 3rd down. Rodemaker had an open man near midfield, off of the fingertips and incomplete. Kenshawn Portier couldn't pull it in. He was there, James. The pass just a little bit too far ahead of him.
Well, it's but it looked like too. There's Portier, the freshman out of Coconut Grove, down at the bottom. Earlier is going to run this little dig here as they just try to clear it out, and they do an excellent job. It's there. It's going to happen. It's going to be a first down and then some. You can't really see from that angle, but maybe a little bit hard, but they're in the hands, and those are the plays, and you just got to find a way to just go make them. Stay on the field, help your team out a little bit. They're hurting right now. They need your help.
Mastromano punts this one back just inside the 15, and Quan Charleston with a fair catch. So Florida State needs a spark, and they haven't gotten it yet. Trailing Jacksonville State 14-0. Gamecocks have come to play. They've had such success at the football championship subdivision level.
Tom, how many teams have we seen here in this funky 2020 season? We've seen a lot of season openers on different weekends, and how many times have we seen teams just really stumble and it looks sloppy coming out of the gate? It says a lot about Coach Gross, about his coaching staff, guys like Jimmy Ogle, the offensive coordinator, whose guys are back out there right now. For them to come out and to play some pretty clean football here in their opener here today against Florida State.
We're going to run this one with Matthews trying to turn that corner. Short of the 20. Got tripped up.
It was a good job blocking on that edge. Out there, Landon Rice. Lindsey talked about Trayberry, one of the tight ends who missed last year with that torn ACL. Rice was also lost due to a neck injury.
James Zion Webb has come into the game for Jacksonville State, number 10, the junior quarterback. And 2nd and 7 for Zarek Cooper. Webb wants to toss it and does near the 30-yard line. Hits his man. That was Edwards.
About the sophomore. Again, these receivers, they lost some very talented receivers off of last year's team, and that was the big question mark really coming in. Who's going to step up? Who are going to be our guys? Hey, Dave Russell and Ahmad Edwards, they're not afraid to go over the middle and take a shot as we take a look at Zarek Cooper over on that sidelines. Zion Webb run it this time.
Webb guarding his way past the 30-yard line. Cooper had been 9 of 10 for 52 yards. Right now, though, he's a spectator on the sideline with the helmet up.
Maybe perhaps given the junior out of Phoenix City, as you look at his numbers. They did tell us that they had some packages for him. He's such an elusive runner, and the good news is for Cooper, you don't see anybody tending to him. So this is just planned the way they wanted to approach this game, is get 10 some reps.
The Webb saw action in 7 games a season ago. This is Michael Matthews leaping and running. Goes airborne on the carry for Michael Matthews, the junior.
They're trying to get outside here, and it's tough to outrun no matter what's going on, the wins and losses. You still got some guys that can get up and run, and even big guys like Corey Durden. That's a 315-pounder. Go back over by Gainesville, Florida, Newberry, Florida. That's where Corey Durden's from. They pulled him out of enemy territory, and excellent job. Big man getting up and running and force a 3rd down.
3rd and short, 1 for 3 in the game on 3rd down situations, and Florida State strong on this one. Fabian Lovett, number 0 in there on the tackle of Matthews, the runner for the Gamecocks.
Robert Cooper is out with the injury, so it's up to number 0, if 0 is a number, and his buddies leading the charge. Didn't get a number there on the guy that was down low, but it's good to see Lovett in there making plays, a sophomore out of Vicksburg, Mississippi. He really stood out to me in that Miami game. He understands where he fits, and he understands football, plays the leverage really well, and plays with good hands, keeping those big offensive linemen off of him, helping his defense get off the field here.
Helton is deep. Preston Knight to punt, the senior. Whistle before the punt from Knight.
Delay of game. Kicking team. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down. "32 years in the coaching ranks for
John Gross. His team went 6-6 a season ago, 3-5 in conference play, and this is their first game this year. They'll play 4 games non-conference and then play the OVC schedule in the spring. That is the plan right now. Everything is sort of subject to change these days, but that's the plan.
Most FCS teams opted out altogether of the fall ball. Nice job on the pump here.
This is Helton. 25-yard line, kept his footing for a moment and got to the 27. So we'll take a timeout. We'll come back. Florida State will have the football, but take a glance at the scoreboard. And it's the Gamecocks in Tallahassee with the 14-0 lead against the Noles.
With the Capital One Venture Card, you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day.
Objection!
Overruled.
And speaking of Cam McDonald, every week Florida State chooses one player to carry out a sledgehammer, and if they get the win, that player gets to smash a rock that has the opposing team's logo on it. Cam McDonald was chosen to carry the sledgehammer out this week. The coaches raved all week about how well he has been doing, not only performance-wise, but as a leader as well. Guys?
Carrying that hammer. Bronco Mendenhall in Virginia, I think. They do that. They bust that rock as well. And well, they got some making up to do right now. Lindsey trailing with 10:34 left in the first half. And if 87 has anything to do with it, he'll be smashing that rock with the Gamecock logo on it in the locker room here at Go Campbell Stadium. And how good will that feel if they can get it done for Mike Norvell? Would be win number 1 in Tallahassee. John Gross and the Gamecocks certainly making it tough on them so far in this game. Here's a good opportunity to chip away at it, though. Or the true freshman starting his first game.
This is the 5th series and a change at quarterback. Jordan Travis keeps it and dives past the 30-yard line. The first 4 possessions, James, with Rodemaker as the quarterback. Interception, field goal, punt, and here comes Jordan Travis.
Well, it's good to see Jordan out there. I wasn't sure how much we'd see of him because it didn't sound like he practiced too much this week. Banged up a little bit, as was James Blackman in that Miami game. And he can help in a big way with this offense.
Toafili near the first down marker. He got enough for that first down, just a little bit short by about a yard. Inside of 10 minutes to go in our second quarter. Jordan Travis had 7 carries for 52 yards in the loss at Miami. Only threw 2 passes, James, for 12 yards, completed 1, and had an interception.
Well, last year, remember that debut at Boston College, first snap. Took her for 26 yards to the house. Here's a 3rd down and short that they must get. You got to be able to get 3rd and 1 if you're Florida State against Jacksonville State.
Travis do it. Yes, he can. A little bit of freelancing there, and he was able to get the first down to the 39-yard line. That'll grease the chains, and they'll move for Coach Norvell and the Noles. Sanders had the tackle, but not before a first down. Travis wanted to throw maybe a yard on the play.
Whether it's Travis, Rodemaker, James Blackman, they just need a little bit of time. Just give them a little bit of time so they're not running for their life. You know, you get shell shock back there is what comes to mind when you watch poor James Blackman. It's just everybody's just on you right now. And earlier this season, Jordan Travis can throw the football around. I like to watch it, but you got to give him some time.
This is a run for a first down. That is Webb, number 8, on the carry for Florida State, and Webb takes it 10 yards and another first down for the Seminoles.
Well, and here's another guy they're glad to have back, the sophomore. The big guy's going to get up and try to move some bodies. An excellent job there in the backfield. The fellow running back picking up the block to clear the hole. That's Toafili. And then Webb had a great week of practice after missing that Miami game. Glad to have him back.
Anthony Nesby, number 99 in white, may have come across early.
Defense number 99 with contact. 5-yard penalty. First down.
You see the the new kids on the block and not just roaming the sidelines as the head coach and his staff, but young pups for Florida State.
Just over 8 minutes to go in our second quarter. 1st and 5 after the penalty against the visiting Gamecocks. Toss it out, trying to go wide with Corbin. With the shoulder down. Fuquay came up to make the tackle. He's got the interception return for a touchdown, 13 yards in the first quarter against Rodemaker.
Nice job there to fight and get off, but still a pickup in a situation after that 5-yard penalty. We've seen too much of that, the little cheapies that may not seem like a lot. But when you keep giving them 5 yards here, it certainly makes play calling a lot easier. 2nd down and 1. Maybe a shot up top. We'll see that arm.
Travis. Deep ball to the goal line and in for the touchdown. Travis to Helton. Touchdown Seminoles. James, 41 yards on the TD connection from Travis to Helton.
2nd and 1. Let's have a little bit of fun and let the sophomore air it out. Drops the dime in there. 2 bodies there covering the Pensacola native Keyshawn Helton, who's been returning kicks as well today. And into the end zone for the 2nd time this season. Scored a touchdown against Georgia Tech in the opener.
Rolling on the field, catching the touchdown. Previous play is under further review.
So if it stands, it's the first career TD pass for Jordan Travis. Just going to take a look and see if Helton was able to break the plane and get in.
Yep.
Trying to get away from Darius Joyner, number 9 in white for Jacksonville State. James, that 2nd and short, I know you love that long pass right down the middle of the field, and that's exactly what the Noles went to.
You know what? If the ball falls to the turf, you come up empty. Hey, 3rd and 1 again.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
There you go, and the right play call to the right man. It seems right now for the new offensive coordinator Kenny Dillingham.
Fitzgerald to add the extra point. Longest play of the season for Florida State. Third passing touchdown of the season for the Noles as well. They went 6 plays, 73 yards, James, in 3 minutes and 19 seconds.
All right. Well, I talked to my old buddy, old college roommate, Eric Krester, the quarterback coach of Jordan Travis, just a few days ago, said, hey, what can you tell me about him? That he can throw it, too, not just run. We saw that right there.
1, 2, 3,
With the Capital One Venture.
We're 7 plays and 73 yards. James Bates.
Well, he provided what few sparks there weren't very hot. There wasn't much fire at all against Miami last week, but if you did see some sparks at all, it was usually it was number 13 that helped to kind of get him going a little bit or try.
Gowdy watches this one sail into the end zone and bounce. And now a message from Bojangles.
Feed the whole family with a big Bo box. It's Bo time.
So what a decision by Florida State.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 7, kicking team. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the 25-yard line. First down. That is number 7's first unsportsmanlike.
Well, you see how hot Mike Norvell is right now, and justifiably so. You fight so hard to finally get some points on the board.
Jerry and Jones there, James.
Well, and that was part of the issue, the penalties and the silly penalties. The penalties last weekend against Miami, 12 for 113 yards, and it wasn't like they were just being overly aggressive here and there. It's just some dumb penalties, and let's see if we can find it. Yeah, it's going to just catch him there in the back. little bit of a flop, too, it seems. So.
Block on a defenseless player by the letter of the law. Jacksonville State goes back to Zarek Cooper. Zion Webb came in for the previous series for the Gamecocks. Well, they've done this before, James. Go back to 2010 in the season opener at Ole Miss in the SEC. They won 49-48 in double overtime. And they've won 5 games against the Football Bowl subdivision, most recently 2013 at Georgia State. That also in overtime. Cooper away from the pressure, deep throw, down by the 15, and caught. Logan McVay, number 86, fighting with the Noles in that secondary, and McVay wins the battle.
Wow, and not a bad job of coverage there by Fagan, Cyrus Fagan, buying time, rolling out, and then just showing you the arm strength. What a great job by McVay to just concentrate as he's falling backwards to tuck that one in. And we've seen some balls that have been beautifully thrown in this football game. A couple of them there by Cooper. Nice throw and catch, and knocking at the door one more time, the Gamecocks.
41 yards on that pass play. They'll rush it this time with West. Down near the 5-yard line. He bounced out. Inside of 6 minutes to go in our second quarter after that long pass play. Jacksonville State has just entered the CPI Security Red Zone for the Gamecocks.
Jimmy Ogle, offensive coordinator. This is a program. It's about that balance. They'll put it up in the air, but they like to set it all up with a good, strong running game, whether it's West, Samuel, Matthews, or Jackson. A very balanced attack, and it's working right now. A 2nd down and 1 set up for him here on the play call.
Timeout, Florida State.
Noles will take a timeout with 5.5 minutes to go in our second quarter. 2nd and short coming up for the Gamecocks. Driving and leading 14-7 in Tallahassee.
What would Joe Biden's plan do for you? Families with young...
We made USAA insurance for this season. When being a fan on a budget...
He's saying, no, we're losing 14-7. That's the problem for the Glitter duo.
He said, we hate Bates. We just want to see our
love Bates
score. The Glitter boys, they're in the same bubble, I guess.
Well, they're watching the Gamecocks.
Remember in Christmas Vacation when Chevy Chase is going through those magazines and all the sap from the trees from the Christmas tree all over? That's the way Glitter is at their house. Like, you just got it everywhere. It's all over the cars.
I like the nice touch with the glitter on the mask, but do they have glitter underneath the masks as well, James? That's the question.
Probably.
Never to be answered. 2nd and 1. Cooper's 10 of 11, 93 yards through the air, including a 41 connection with McVay just a moment ago. So they need to get down close to the 5-yard line for that 1st down. They'll go with West. West driving towards the goal line. 2nd effort from Uriah West. 1st and goal, Gamecocks.
All of these backs are right about the same size. It's not like you get much of a change-up with the 4 backs that we'll see here play for Jacksonville State. What about the pop? Fresh set of downs. Knocking on the door for the Gamecocks, trying to answer.
We'll give it to West. He gets shut down. Kind of lost some yardage there.
Defensive front for Mike Norvell. Getting down low and getting nasty and jamming up that middle. There have been so many greats on that defensive line that have come through here over the years. Play for Florida State. See if they can do it on back-to-back plays.
2nd and goal. Look like Cooper trying to follow the block of West. Did the ball come out? Florida State comes away with the football. And one of the officials is signaling touchdown.
Coming loose, touchdown.
It is. You just heard the announcement. The plane was broken before coming loose as Cooper took it in for Jacksonville State, and then the ball was dislodged, but only after the plane of the goal line had been broken.
Under further review.
And pretty easy to figure out that they're going to take a look at this one. as Cooper was trying to follow the block of Uriah West right into the end zone.
And Uriah West was running behind those big guys. Zach Cangelosi, the center. Cam Hill, toughest one up there. They get a nice push and get underneath those pads of the big guys up front for FSU. Can't really see anything from that angle. And remember, if we don't get a better look at it here, not going to know exactly where the ball is, but it was ruled a touchdown on the field.
There's the reach right there by Cooper, James, and then it's stolen away.
There's Gaynor who comes up with it. Go figure. And if we don't get another look at it, all you can think is, well, the official standing right there, that ball, it doesn't look like his body's down. Obviously crossing the plane. Or you'd like to think he wouldn't have signaled it a touchdown. Then it hits the ground, comes out, and Gaynor scoops it up. So I think this one will stand. And just when Florida State, the big pass play from Jordan Travis, 41-yard pass to Helton, get some feel-good going on that Knoll sidelines, right back down the field goes Jacksonville State to answer.
So the call on the field was touchdown, meaning you must have indisputable video evidence to overturn the call. Again, the call was touchdown on the second effort and reach from Zarek Cooper. Look at him just hang on to it the last second, James, with West right in front of him, his running back, number 20.
After further review, moving on the field stands, touchdown.
It is a touchdown and a 60-yard drive for Jacksonville State. Up 20-7 with the extra point coming up. Zarek Cooper takes it in from 2 yards away. Dragic for the extra point for the Gamecocks. With 4.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Quite an answer to the score of Florida State, as you had mentioned, James. The touchdown pass from Jordan Travis. Getting Helton at the goal line. So if you're just joining us now, late in our second quarter, here's what happened. Jacksonville State got on the board first with the pick and the 6, and they took the lead, James.
Yeah, Rodemaker, the true freshman from Valdosta, with the interception throw there, and then doing it offensively as well. Samuel with a 21-yard run, and just like that, it was 14-0 at the end of the first quarter for Jacksonville State. Finally, a little bit of fire from this offense. That's Helton, 41-yard pass from Jordan Travis. Hey, all right, it's 14-7, but slow down. Jacksonville State's not going anywhere. The 60-plus yard drive, a nice catch mixed in there by Logan McVeigh. And Zarek Cooper capping it off with the 2-yard touchdown run you just saw moments ago. And one thing now, Jacksonville State here, the rest of this first half and the second half, those 5 penalties, you know, if they hope to leave Tallahassee with a big upset win on this season opener here in their 4-game fall season, they got to be careful, not only with the penalties, but continue to secure that football. Don't give up any freebies. And they've been playing some pretty crisp football here today.
This is Helton backtracking in the end zone. He'll stay there after the 13th career rushing touchdown from 2 yards away from Zarek Cooper to make it 21-7. Jacksonville State in front. Stunning proceedings, and keep in mind, Florida State has never lost to a team from the football championship subdivision, James. They are 25-0, and that includes the game we did last year here at Bobby Bowden Field against Alabama State, a win 49-12.
You had one, if I'm not mistaken, a couple years ago that was Samford.
Samford came in here, was going to drive for the winning points, and Florida State came up with an interception in return for a TD. And they were able to cement that victory. So there have been some close calls. Jordan Travis remains in at quarterback. He'll hand this one off. It'll be Webb.
Webb, tough to bring down. You know, remember the Weeble Wobbles? Weeble Wobble, but but they don't fall down. And at 5'8", 190, watch, he almost rolls out of this. But he left out there, so the hard charging Webb. A little short gain of 3 on that one.
Across the 4-minute threshold here in the second quarter. Travis out of a crumbling pocket and still taken down at the 30. Couldn't find anything available. Homestead Sanders making the play defensively for the Gamecocks.
And again, that's I know it's not a sack there, but that's a coverage pressure again. They're doing a good job covering initially, and then the pressure is getting there to the quarterbacks.
Travis on 3rd and 5 near the sideline, and that should be good enough for the first down. They had to get past the 35-yard line, and they do on the connection to Wilson.
That's nice. Good job by Pokey to put that foot down, make sure he's in bounds, and also to break that route off where you've got a first down. So many times you see a guy that'll break it off short, and you're stopped and looking at a 4th down and 1 instead.
Pass behind the intended receiver, Cameron McDonald, number 87 in garnet and gold. From Jordan Travis. Remember, Tate Rodemaker was the starter today. He was in for the first 4 series, James, and they were unproductive for FSU.
Yeah, just 2 quarterbacks. It's gone to Travis after that. 3 quarterbacks played against Miami. You throw in James Blackman, who we haven't seen today. He's on the sidelines.
Blackman had 26 pass attempts against the Hurricanes and completed 16. Had 1 TD pass and an interception. This pass completed the 45-yard line. That is Wilson. There's James Blackman on the sidelines right now, number 1 for the Noles. Last week was a rough go of it for Florida State. 52-10, most points allowed in the series, 65 meetings with the Hurricanes. And that one stopped cold near the 45-yard line. Bringing up 4th and short.
You know, with that read, putting it in the belly right there of Corbin, there was too much push in the middle. A great job by the defensive front of Jacksonville State. And how about this 4th and 1 staying out there? They're going for it.
Jordan.
Oh, this is going to be close.
It is going to be very close. I think it might just be enough. He had to get past the 47.
Well, it's a read again. This time, Jordan Travis keeps it, and it is just enough. He was stood up right there at the mark needed for a first down, but it's enough, and they'll move those chains.
That was just a test of strength and wills right there, as Travis ran up against Tullis to get just enough for the first down. With just over 2 minutes to go in our second quarter. Jordan Travis looking and looking. Throws it near the 32. Flag is out on the play, and the catch is made. Jordan Young, the sophomore, with a juggling grab. There is a flag on the play.
You're hoping it's not a push-off because the position. How about this? On the fly, throws a strike.
Defense, number 1. Penalties decline. He's off for the play. First down.
This is an easy throw right here, Tom. Just rolling out. And at the same time throwing it right on the money where only Young can go up and get it. He has to double catch it. He catches it nonetheless.
The ruling on the field is a catch. Previous play is under further review.
Nice job of focusing on it, absolutely. And it sure looks like he wasn't close to that boundary line yet. There will be a better look at it.
George Steele was defending James, number 6 in white.
And again, decent coverage, but a very good throw on the run by Jordan Travis, trying to march him back down and answer again.
After further review, ruling is confirmed. Catch in bounds.
First catch of the year for Jordan Young. Sophomore, Conyers, Georgia. Produces a first down at the 32-yard line of Jacksonville State.
And that's one thing that you get from Jordan Travis. Everybody likes to talk about his athletic ability, his wheels. And when you're having trouble blocking defensive linemen, and you just, the pressure has just been crushing you so far this season. Roll him out a little bit. Get him on the move where he can buy some time and let those receivers get open. He's 4 of 5 now for 77 yards.
Travis on the run. Throws it out of bounds. Looking for Helton, who's being chased. Had to get rid of that football. Second series in there for Jordan Travis. Coming up at halftime from Bobby Bowden Field. Highlights, the numbers from the first half, and we'll go news and notes around the NCAA and the ACC.
Big one up in Pittsburgh. NC State and Pittsburgh getting after it. Looked like a good game today.
How about that one? A 1-point win for NC State. First loss of the season for the Panthers. That's a floater. Flags are out. Looking for Terry. Yule Gowdy defending JSU.
Well, Terry's a big body at 6'4", 210.
Pass interference. Defense, number 7. Automatic first down at the spot of the foul.
There is a player down. We'll take another look at this one here. But, you know, Gowdy, again, he's right there in the hip pocket. Man-to-man coverage running with him. And he just, it's all he can do. Because of the big body, Yule Gowdy's only 5'9", 178. And Terry is 6'4", 210. Just walling him off.
76, Darius Washington, redshirt freshman, on the natural grass surface right now here at Bobby Bowden Field, being attended to by the medical staff.
I hate to see that. It's this offensive line, they switched it up a little bit. They moved some guys over, and Baselli, they moved him back in there at the left guard spot. Darius Washington starting at that left tackle, but they can't afford to lose anybody on this offensive front. Guys just trying to find their way and figure out how to help out this offense, help their quarterbacks, and hopefully he's okay. Got the right tackle. You got a true freshman starting here today in Scott.
Well, next week, more ACC Gridiron action comes your way as the Blue Devils of Duke travel to take on the Syracuse Orange at the newly renovated Dome. Coverage begins 12:30 Eastern. Right here on your regional sports network, Fox Sports South. Check the local listings for Duke and Syracuse next week. Sean Tucker had the very first TD of the renovated Dome. Coach Dino Babers and his team got their first win of the season in that game against Georgia Tech.
It's going to be the right side of your screen there. There you see late the body coming in, the Gamecock player, and rolling up on his ankle. So appears to be an ankle, and I guess that's better than anything with the knee. And that's why those offensive linemen, that's why they all have those knee braces on, because it's gonna happen. You're gonna got all those big bodies in there just rolling around. Hopefully he's okay. Speedy recovery, young man. They need you back.
Looks like Chaz Neal is going to come in for Darius Washington. There's 71. Chaz Neal with 1:36 to go. It has not gone according to plan in the first half for FSU.
You know what, Tom? They punch it in right here. They're down a touchdown, and they will get the ball to start the second half. So you're looking all right, but you want 7 here. You don't want 3.
Down towards the 10-yard line for Corbin. Right near the line to gain. Corbin who ran for 43 yards in the loss at Miami a week ago. It is 1st and goal.
Former Aggie Jayshon Corbin, SEC, all-SEC freshman team when he was there at A&M.
Travis throws it. That's a short hop. Incomplete pass near the 15. Toafili, number 9, out in the flat.
And they like using these backs in the pass game. Corbin leading the team, coming in with 11 receptions. Just had the run moments ago, and now it's a 2nd down and goal from the 10-yard line.
Corbin's got 4 carries for 15 yards. Webb leads the way with 4 carries and 19 yards. Here's Travis, a little pump to the end zone. Incomplete. Flag comes out. Cameron McDonald, the tight end, was covered by Harper, but again, a flag is thrown on the play.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 2. By rule, the ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic. First down.
Well, again, earlier we didn't envy Yul Gowdy. And here you're going to see after the little pump and beating the inside like that, that's all you can do. That's Harper just hanging on. I mean, that's a sure touchdown, so you just live to play another down. And unfortunately for Jacksonville State, it's 1st and goal.
Trying to lunge for the goal line, coming up short. Jashawn Corbin, the sophomore. Now we're inside of a minute to go in the second quarter.
Coming right at you, going to the ground as he's... Knowles try to get that edge, and good job there by Harper to step up and try to stuff it.
Touchdown. Travis behind his offensive line from short yardage. He slams it in, and it's a touchdown for Florida State.
Well, you'd like to think, no matter how hard you're playing Jacksonville State, if you need 1 yard, this is the mighty Florida State Seminoles. You got some big, strong bodies up there that you can win that battle for 1 yard, and they certainly did right there. And Travis doing it with his arm and his legs, getting into the end zone for the 14 points here in the first half.
So Travis with the TD run. And they go 75 yards and 13 plays, just under 4 minutes on the drive for Florida State. Jordan Travis has engineered a couple of scoring drives. Did throw a 41-yard touchdown pass and just ran it in from short yardage. 1 yard away, it was no problem for Travis. Second TD of the ballgame and the first rushing TD of the season for Florida State. Comes from the legs of Jordan Travis. So Coach Norvell pushed the right button, James. Get Travis in there, you got 14 points.
Absolutely. You know, and you hate to see Tate Rodemaker get out there for his first start and not be able to get much going. But you know what? It's time to figure out a way to move this football. And right now, it sure seems to be number 13, the sophomore from the Benjamin School down in West Palm.
4th rushing touchdown of his career, first of the season, Jordan Travis. He and his teammates have cut the lead to 7 with 39 seconds to go in our first half. Gowdy. Fair catch from Gowdy.
That's a fitting song here so far. The frustrations early on. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here, up in here. All right, 39 seconds. You know, most importantly, is protect that football. 2 timeouts. Florida State. Jacksonville State. Eric Cooper and company.
We've seen Zion Webb get action as well against Mike Norvell's defense at the quarterback position for the Gamecocks, who took a 14-0 lead. Here's Cooper, accurate. He's racked up 93 yards. And they will take that 7-point lead happily to the locker room. Who would have foreseen this, James Bates?
Especially if you had a Jacksonville State team with a couple games under their belt. Hey, you know, maybe they'll come in here. But this is the first game out the chute. Says so much about Coach Gross and his coaching staff, his football players, his leaders like Eric Cooper. But hey, they don't want a pat on the back. They want a big upset win on the road in Tallahassee. We've got 2 more quarters to hang on and try to pull it off.
First First trip to the state of Florida since 2012.
At the end of the first half, the Jacksonville State 21.
And let's go down to Lindsay.
Coach, Florida State able to bring the game within 7. Florida State able to bring the game within 7. However, you start the game with a pick 6. What do you think of the defensive effort?
I thought we played well first half. We want to start the game fast, and we did. We got to pick 6 down here and helped us out. And we've had 2 really good drives. And hey, we gave up that last drive. It's kind of penalty aided there, but we just got to keep playing. We just talk about playing every play and don't look at the scoreboard. So
Zarek Cooper looks really comfortable out there. What did you like about your offense in the first half?
I thought we protected the ball, number 1. And every time we had it, we moved it. We picked up first downs. We made plays. So we just got to keep doing that.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Guys.
Lindsay, thank you. 158 total yards for Coach Gross and his team. Thumbs up after the first 30 minutes and a fist bump as well. State have come to Tallahassee. And James, I think the word stunning is appropriate here, especially when you consider they went out to the 14-0 lead, got the interception, took it in the end zone. Jacksonville State has the lead at halftime.
Yeah, and you know, again, I've said it a couple times there in the first half, and I'll continue to say it if they keep playing like this. This is the first game out. Some penalties there. Coach Gross was telling Lindsay at the end. Obviously, they've got to clean those up. They helped the drive there late. But another thing that really helped the drive was Jordan Travis getting in the football game. Active enough to kind of avoid those sacks. They had 2 sacks they gave up Florida State in the first half. It's a lot better than 5 in the first half against Miami. And some more yards, but they finally got something going. But still, Jacksonville State, you're absolutely right. Here to play and playing hard.
And the scoring for Florida State came late in that first half, James. On their last 2 possessions, the pass play for Travis and then the rushing TD. And here's the interception. Fuquay takes it in.
I guess you could say it kind of started early, but for the wrong team as Rodemaker throws it to Fuquay for the pick 6. And then just running hard, there's Samuel, his touchdown run, and it was 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. In comes Jordan Travis. They're on the move. And he hits Helton, the 41-yard pass. Longest play for the Noles here this season. And Cooper and company, they go right down and answer. There's the 2-yard plunge for Cooper, play that was reviewed and ruled a touchdown after further review. And right back at you at the other end, there's Jordan Travis doing it with his legs behind the offensive line to make it a 7-point game at halftime.
4th career rushing touchdown for Travis. Here's our first half stats. They're brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Jordan Travis was 4 of 7, 77 yards, James, and the 41-yard touchdown pass.
And there you see the penalties, the 7 penalties. Hopefully, if you're a Gamecock fan, don't come back to haunt you. And then how about 6.1 yards per play for the visitors from Jacksonville, Alabama?
A hot finish to the first half for the Florida State Seminoles. TD. There was no sparkle early on for Florida State, but they came on strong late in that first half with a couple of TDs. 21-14 is our halftime score. Tom and James socially distanced, and we've got the safety glass between us here from our broadcast position in Tallahassee.
So we don't get glitter on each other.
No glitter. We'll leave that to the guys who come in. By the way, 25% capacity today for the fans to come in and watch the game. 3rd of the season. Florida State is 0-2. And they are 25-0, James, against opponents out of the football championship subdivision. They trail by 7 at Jacksonville State out of the Ohio Valley Conference.
But that 25-0, those are in non-COVID years. This is 2020. Right. Everything is muy loco. And so it probably shouldn't surprise anybody. And, you know, all that's going on in that Florida State Seminole locker room right now is, guys, hey, let's take a deep breath and let's get out there and let's play like we did, marching the football down the field and making some plays defensively. You know, they haven't had a lot of opportunities to go and create some turnovers. That's what I'm asking, not only on offense, who's going to make the play? Who's going to, McDonald, they've got so many weapons now that they can go to. But defensively, who's going to make that play, put the ball back in our hands, and create a spark over on the defensive side?
And Terry's been relatively quiet as well in the first half, catching the football. Though Travis coming into the game, that's exactly what they needed to get something going late in that first half.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it certainly looked to be that way. And so they got a little bit of feel good, chipped it down, and then they'll get the opening kickoff here in the second half. And so that's good news. But you'd like to see it obviously start a lot differently than it did at the beginning of the game, the pick 6, and give Jack Jacksonville State a lot of credit. They do have some good secondary players, some defensive backs that can really cover at the cornerback spot, and they've done a good job. But they're also, you've seen time and time again, physically they're not as big as these guys. You see kind of the talent difference when you talk FBS and FCS. Hey, these guys can play with anyone, but they're not as big, so they can't wrap their arms around a McDonald or a Terry, so they got to hang on. Whatever it takes, just try to figure out a way to get the win if you're FSU.
Yeah, okay, let's take a look at some of the storylines, James, from around the nation and the ACC. And 5 teams in that top 25, although Pitt defeated today by NC State by a point in the Steel City, James.
Well, and it was after NC State got beat up there at Virginia Tech last week. A nice turnaround for them. And, well, finally we're going to get to see North Carolina again after that big, long break. Mac Brown calling it the beginning of the season all over again, even though they're 1-0 against Syracuse they beat earlier this year. And how about Notre Dame? They've had a long break as well, thanks to a bye and COVID, and hoping they can get clean and healthy, because these Florida State Seminoles are going to town to South Bend to take them on next week.
Yeah, and Clemson is playing Virginia today in a rematch of last year's ACC championship game, won by the Tigers, trying to extend that consecutive regular season games winning streak to 32 against Virginia. We'll take a timeout during halftime. Jordan Travis going deep. He's got Helton at the goal line for the TD. Norvell.
Jordan Travis comes in the game, makes a huge impact, brings the team within 7. What have you thought of your QB so far?
Obviously we didn't start the game the way that we wanted to. I thought Jordan provided with a great spark. Was a little bit banged up throughout the course of the week, but you did a great job providing a spark for the offense, and we just got to continue to play for the next 30 minutes.
Jacksonville State able to move the ball pretty well in the first half. What'd you talk to your defense about in the locker room?
Yeah, we just got to continue we got to finish plays. We had a couple opportunities there in their backfield. We got to get them stopped. They hit us on a couple misdirection things. We got to eliminate the explosive play and just, once again, just keep playing ball.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, man.
Coach Mike Norvell, first year here in Tallahassee, 0-2, entering this matchup with Jacksonville State out of the football championship subdivision. Teams have only met twice in the history of the series, and most recently in 2009, a win for Florida State right here. Some of the scores from in and around the nation in the ACC. Florida Gators won today, James.
Yeah. Coach Muschamp coming back in town. Will Muschamp, who used to roam the sidelines.
Yeah.
Coach those Florida Gators with the Gamecocks, and 0-2 for South Carolina. They lost to Tennessee. How about that Pitt-NC State game? I would have liked to have watched that one.
Yep. Pitt had not lost so far this season. And then the former coach here in Tallahassee, Jimbo Fisher, on the wrong end of the 35-14 score right now in the third against Bama. More out of the SEC. North Carolina, BC. You talked about North Carolina in the layoff after the win early in the season against Syracuse. Boston College 2-0. They had to get a last-second field goal a week ago to beat Texas State. And then here on your regional sports network, we saw them in the first week of the season go on the road and defeat Duke.
Well, that's another good football game going on right now. And North Carolina, you still weren't really sure what kind of UNC team you had. Sam Howell's an excellent young quarterback, but how good are they? People saying, hey, they might be better than Notre Dame as the number 2 spot in the ACC. Right now, up on Chestnut Hill, BC hanging tough with them.
North Carolina's never lost to Boston College's ACC opponents, 4-0, as Cooper remains loose on the bike on that Jacksonville State sideline. Cooper was 10 of 11 and 93 yards for his head coach, John Gross. What was that locker room like, James? Up 7 points on the road in Tallahassee against the Noles.
Well, business as usual. You can't get too high. You can't get too excited, and hey, let's go right back out there and treat it like Coach Gross said is a new ball game, 0-0, and let's go win the second half, and you go home victorious. Remember, this is the season opener, and this is one of 4 games being played by Jacksonville State here in the fall. They're looking to play 7 in the OVC FCS level in the spring. It will be Mercer, North Alabama, and FIU. This game wasn't supposed to be played until September 2021. You got to be a curveball hitter in college football these days. Here we go.
Yeah, this was announced on August 6th, and they will play that matchup next year as well, as Helton comes out of the end zone to start the second half. Helton to the 35 on the return for Florida State. 37 yards. Helton returns it for the Noles to start the third quarter.
Nice job by Keyshawn Helton again. He's had the 41-yard touchdown catch, had an excellent return earlier, and a good job blocking by his teammates right there. Setting that offense up in a nice spot, and Coach mentioned it. Coach Norvell there to Lindsey Rowley talked about Jordan Travis, and you got to think a good reason we didn't see Jordan Travis as the starter is because he was banged up. Didn't practice much at all this week. But he looked good, and they needed that spark. Here we go, the second half. What's he got?
And here he is again, going deep down the field. The pass is on schedule. And caught at the 15. It's to Marion Terry.
If you need a big play guy, it used to be number 15 you look for. Now it's number 5. Same guy, though. And Tamarian Terry just runs right underneath this beautifully thrown football. There's a flag down as they try to hurry up, get down there.
Number 60, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
As far as the penalties go, it was trouble in Miami, but it was a lot cleaner in the first half for FSU. They can't start helping them out here. Let's look at that Terry catch. Nothing but big plays. Mentioned earlier the 5 touchdown catches in his career of at least 70 yards.
48 yards on that long pass play to Tamarian Terry. That play along the sideline, and a helmet gets loose. It's Wilson.
Yeah, no flag there, so Pokey Wilson will have to sit this next play out. And they'll get it back to that original line of scrimmage, so a 5-yard gain and a second down and 10 after that penalty.
And now Florida State has just entered the CPI Security red zone on 2nd and 10. Through a hole to the 5 and spinning down to the goal line and in for the touchdown. Noles pounded in 15 yards.
I told you, Tom, Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. 5-8.
Previous plays under further review.
So it was Webb who took it in, but they're going to look at this.
Well, a Maurice Jones-Drew type of guy. Look at him. He gets through that traffic securing the football. Are you kidding me?
Maintained his balance, James.
Gosh, that's pretty. He missed him in the Miami game. He was out. Coach Norvell and his offensive coordinator, Kenny Dillingham, said he had an excellent week of practice. And it's paying off for the sophomore.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Gary Patterson confirming the TD from LaDamian Webb, the sophomore. First of the year for Webb.
I see you got in.
It's a little bit like our Sean Tucker touchdown for Syracuse.
I was just thinking
last weekend.
Yep. First one in the renovated dome. First points of that game. Win for Syracuse at home against Georgia Tech. So Webb finishes off the drive with a 15-yard touchdown run. Just 3 plays and 63 yards. And Webb with the finishing touches. He is not going down. Kept his balance and his poise and powers in for FSU, and we're tied.
Now you can really save with all
tied up at 21. Florida State has scored touchdowns on its last 3 possessions. 2 late in the second quarter and their first here in the third. 15-yard run with Damian Webb. Gowdy, the deep man, number 7 in white, at his own goal line. Ball to the end zone for Gowdy. So we mentioned the Sean Tucker touchdown, which was the first points of the game against Georgia Tech last week. And here it is, James.
Yeah.
I think it was Wanye Thomas defensively, and he rolled over his torso.
Yeah, and he had a little bit of help from Wanye because he could roll on his body. But here, it's a spin and put that hand down. I'm voting Webb the winner as we have a spin-off for a touchdown.
A spin-off? Okay. 63 yards, less than a minute on the drive. And there was that big 48-yard catch by Tamarian Terry. Yes. He's now over 2,000 yards for his career in receiving here at Florida State. So he hits that benchmark in this game against Jacksonville State.
We're glad to have him back out there and healthy. He played a few snaps against Miami, but looked to be pretty much a smokescreen as he was injured.
That play out near the 35-yard line could be a first down for the Gamecocks.
You know, I believe that was Russell. Yeah, Russell with the catch. Dave Russell, who had an excellent first half. He's almost like a tight end, not by size, but just by being a security blanket. Just get him the football, and he'll fight his way up there to get you a first down, or at least close to it. And on that first down catch, he moves those chains. They chain crew a little bit late getting down there.
4 catches, 40 yards for Russell. It's Uriah West.
That was on purpose. If you got hair like that, it doesn't come off on accident. What? I can't believe it's not butter. Green with the low tackle there after the 3-yard gain.
2nd and 8 for the Gamecocks of Jacksonville State. West, the catch, gains the 40-yard line and gets knocked to the turf.
Emmett Rice coming over there. West trying to come back inside and get a couple extra yards. And watch him flow. Watch him get over there. And an excellent job. I don't blame you at all, Akeem Dent, who did a really good job earlier taking on a receiver at the cornerback spot. But hey, if you don't have to deal with those big 300-pounders, don't, man. Makes the right choice, cuts back inside. Emmett Rice helps him out as well. Here's a 3rd down and 4 now.
And just 1 for 4 on 3rd down in the game for Cooper. He hits West on the run, down the sideline, near the 30-yard line, and shoved out of bounds by Lars Woodby.
Guys, I mean, just a straight-up bust. 3rd down and 4. You got a chance to get off the field. Down here at the bottom, and it's just, well, it looks like a little bit of a pick as coverage trying to come out and just nobody there for him. So 3rd and 4, you're going to get off the field and get it back in that offense's hands. It's finally hot after all this time. Instead, a first down and a whole lot more. And now the Gamecocks fresh set of downs driving in Seminole territory.
28-yard chunk play. They'll try the other side and a stretching grab from Jared Scott. Number 14 and a senior, Oak Park, Illinois. Cooper, he's only thrown 1 incompletion in the game, James.
Oh, just steady. Just steady and running this show. And it started, even if the guy he missed earlier, it was just his 2nd throw of the game, I believe. And just, you know, like everybody else, even if you've been the starter there for 3 years, opening game, going to have a few throws to get lathered up and get ready. And since then, he's been perfect.
Last 2 years for Cooper, he's thrown over 3,000 yards in both 2018 and 19. Wants the end zone. One-handed grab attempt by Ahmad Edwards, and there's a penalty marker.
You think when you come up and your shoulder pads are hanging out like that, somebody's been pulling on your jersey. I can't believe it was only one official that claimed to see it. You put it up there and
pass interference. Defense number 8. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Bernardo Green with a fistful of jersey. As Ahmad Edwards, the sophomore, tried to reach for that one. Flagged for the infraction.
The ball was thrown in the right spot. As a receiver now, you got to give yourself enough cushion, enough padding away from that sideline to where you can give your quarterback a chance to drop that in there and still make the throw. It's that spot where only the quarterback can hit you. So a fresh set of downs. Seminoles helping out now with the drive.
They swallow up the run game. Josh Samuel.
Well, this is the first time we've heard Marvin Wilson's name called here. He was out the first half. Remember, had the targeting against Miami, so missed the second half of that game and in the first half of this game. The preseason All-American, who actually missed the last 4 games of 2019 after his 44-tackle, 5-sack performance. Want those field goals against Georgia Tech. You're glad to have number 21 back in there in the middle of that D-line.
142 yards for Cooper. 2nd and goal. This pass and complete. 9 was Edwards.
Edwards just lost his footing and coming out of the break. Falls down. Jacksonville State lucky enough to that one goes right on your couch. Hot potato.
2 for 5 on 3rd down in the game for Coach Gross and the Gamecocks.
He's got a true freshman kicker who's been solid on his 3 extra points. They're hoping to get in that paint, though, and answer a touchdown with a touchdown instead of a field goal attempt.
Cooper has to improvise. Gets taken out of bounds by Emmett Rice, number 1 in garnet and gold.
Again, this is a guy that's not quite the Garrett King that they had to try to corral against Miami last week, but a guy that can still buy some time, as we've seen, and takes care of that football. And not enough right there, so a good stand, albeit down near the goal line for this Florida State defense. Here's a hard angle for a kicker.
First chance for Karadzic this season, 21 yards away. The snap was not perfect. The kick was excellent. 24-21. Jacksonville State drives it down and gets the field goal from Karadzic. Knocks it through. Gamecocks have taken the lead right back.
Every time I started,
Oscar is not disabled. He's differently able.
He was going to be
Charlie Ward in 93, Chris Wenke in 2000, and Jameis Winston, part of that 2013 National Championship team and the MVP of the BCS National Championship game. Right before the advent of the playoff college football. It's going to be interesting. As new conferences starting to join the fray. ACC came out of the gate strong. There have been some adjustments made to the scheduling, obviously. But some other teams have joined the national picture. Florida State trying to just get a win. First one for their first-year head coach, Mike Norvell, with Keyshawn Helton to return. 3 returns for 87 yards in the game for Helton. He's averaging 29 yards on returns. And he hasn't been bashful about coming out of the end zone. This is not a problem as he straddled the goal line. He's past the 20, refusing to go down, battering his way, 22-yard line. Keyshawn Helton, impressive in the kick return game today for Florida State.
I felt like rolling the dice a little bit there. John Gross deciding to kick it to him one more time. You know, a couple times we've seen he's just been one missed tackle away from taking it to the house and playing with fire, and they do an excellent job. His guys respond. They go down there and drop him right at the 22-yard line. And Jordan Travis and company got to go retake that lead now.
Corbin. Solid first down gain for Corbin. Last 3 possessions for Florida State have ended in touchdowns. That coincides with Jordan Travis coming into the game for the freshman Tate Rodemaker, who started and played 4 series. That is Corbin once again with a 0 call. An official number in college football this season, James, 0.
That's right. DJ Coleman, good job penetrating there on that last play and forced his 3rd and short. saw Corbin right there. They had him stopped for a no-gainer. Fights and falls forward.
Timeout, injured Florida State player.
So far, it's Corbin doing all the heavy lifting.
Yes, it's another offensive lineman down for the Noles, and this one, Big Baselli.
Andrew Baselli being attended to by the Noles training staff. A 3-point lead for visiting Jacksonville State here in Tallahassee.
Pretty though, and here's another look at it. There you see, you know, when it's big on big and you're locked up like that, there's just you're so vulnerable. And Baselli inside that tent right now as they tend to him. It'll be Lucas in there to replace. Baselli getting the start today. Dante Lucas had been starting, the sophomore, 55 from Overtown, Florida. So many greats have come out of Overtown. And Dante Lucas, a sophomore, 6'3", 315. So a first down gained by Corbin through all that. And it'll be a fresh set of downs here for Jordan Travis.
Gonna hand it off. Room to run. Toafili.
Timeout, injured Jacksonville State player.
24 yards on the run. Jackson Luttrell.
That's the competition that you create there in that running back room, and it's a good thing to have. And look at our guy Cam McDonald's going to come around here and lead the way for the freshman. Interior line does a really good job of opening up the hole. And Toafili, who made his FSU debut against Miami last week, had 64 yards and 3 catches. Also Corbin. Love Taylor, right side of the line. There you see also there in the mix, Jackson Luttrell, freshman All-American. Defensive tackle for John Gross, and the Gamecocks helped off there, but a nice hard-charging run by Toafili. Corbin doing the hard work there. Get that first down, and then they hand it off to number 9. We've also seen LaDamian Webb run really hard.
88 total rushing yards in the game for Florida State. 50 of those in the second half for the Noles. And first and 10, 8:40 to go in our third quarter. Florida State trailed by 7 at halftime, 21-14. Touchdown for FSU. Field goal for JSU in the second half. Webb. He's got a touchdown run in this game, James. You just mentioned. Third quarter, he ran it for 15 yards and kept his footing and got to the end zone for FSU. At the time, tying the game at 21.
One of the prettier 15-yard runs you'll see, too.
Out on the edge and still fighting. That was Tamarian Terry, number 5. Terry got a little feisty there at the end of that run. Refusing to go down.
A little bit late coming over there to make sure he's dropped it. Now we've got another player bound up here.
It's number 10, Jaquez Payton.
Here's a guy, too, that, what a shame. He's had back problems for the last couple years, missed all of last year. And actually, he talked with Coach Gross and thought about quitting. And just, you know, he's hurting even right there, and he fights trying to pull down Terry and help out, but just hope that it's not his back, because he's had so many issues to the point where, you know, they talked about maybe, hey, football's not where I need to be if it's going to be this painful. They felt like they had made it out. Jaquez Payton, the junior from Georgiana, Alabama, which is where Hank Williams Sr. was born and raised.
While we have a moment, James, Next week, more ACC gridiron action comes your way as the Blue Devils of Duke will take on the Orange of Syracuse at the Carrier Dome. Coverage begins 12:30 Eastern on your regional sports network. Fox Sports South. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. Duke and Syracuse. And Sean Tucker, we showed you that run as we compared that to the run of LaDamian Webb as they both were able to keep their balance and get to the end zone for their respective teams. Dino Babers and the Orange getting that win against Georgia Tech. Duke, by the way, in a close one right now in the third, James, trailing Virginia Tech, and that's in Durham 17-14. And the Orange have the week off. Wake Forest also posted a victory on Friday 66-14. That against Campbell to start the ACC weekend.
So 3rd and 3.
Corbin. Second and third effort to get that first down and close to the 30 for Corbin.
Again, it looks like they're going to drop him for a loss as he takes the snap. Direct snap to Corbin and knifing through there and picked up a little late, but just bouncing around in there and making it work, finding a way to make it happen. A couple big first down gains by Corbin on this drive.
Corbin has 9 carries in the game. This pass is complete out on the edge. And that's to Kai Douglas.
Another Jacksonville State player down on the far side.
2nd down and 1.
2nd down and 1 is when Jordan Travis hit Helton for that 41-yard touchdown pass. A similar situation and a break in the action. A chance for Orville and Dillingham to talk it over in this.
That's Harris who is down for Jacksonville State. 7:15 to go in the third. For those of you just joining us, let's recap the scoring. And it started with Kobe Fuquay. 13-yard interception of Rodemaker. 7-0 JSU, James.
Yeah, how about the Gamecocks opening game this season? And they opened things up with a blaze of points, 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. Hey, Jordan Travis in there, the sophomore quarterback, second quarterback in the game for the Noles, and he makes it count. 41-yard pass to Helton there. And then Zarek Cooper, a 2-yard touchdown run at 21-7. Jordan Travis punches it in. We went into halftime at 21-14. Noles got the kickoff to start the second half and scored right away to tie it up.
This is Travis on the 9th play of the drive on 2nd and short. And he's got a first down inside the 20. Just 1 pass thrown on this drive so far. 8 rushes. Another first down for the Noles. And Jordan Travis, who, by the way, that first career TD pass on that long one to Helton of 41 yards in the second quarter. A couple of late TDs in that first half for FSU. They'll try the left side this time with Toafili. Lawrence Toafili, the freshman from St. Petersburg, Florida. Tempo from the Noles. Travis handed that one off with 6:20 and rolling on the clock.
Just chipping away at it. And, you know, it's Jacksonville State defense in this first game, and the first, you know, live game action too. You got to think on this drive, this is a defense that love to get a little bit of a breather. They got to be gassed right now. They got to find a way to hold this Seminole football team, keep them out of the end zone on a 3rd and 3 again.
7 of 10 for Travis through the air, 139 yards, and the touchdown to Helton. And 3rd and short. We'll toss it out. Toafili inside the 5 to the pylon and in for the touchdown. Lawrence Toafili, TD, Noles.
The Gamecocks are going to have several bodies out here that they can create a vice angle, and it's just jumping inside. Our guy Fuqua right there, Colby Fuqua, has got to stay on that outside shoulder, but he falls for the little shake from Toafili, and a nice looking move to get outside, and then clear sailing into the end zone. But there were 3 Gamecocks that could have brought him down. Definitely had the numbers. Number 9 wasn't having it.
And the first rushing touchdown of Toafili's career here in the third from 13 yards away for the freshman. All touchdowns, and that is all since Travis came in the game, James, in the second quarter.
That's more like it, you know, and you don't want to beat up on a guy making his first start as a freshman, but, you know, had Jordan Travis not been hurt this week at practice, you'd like to think he probably would have been the guy that started this football game, and it might look a lot different than it does right now because they have done nothing offensively but go forward ever since he has entered the game. And let's face it, with a couple Florida State offensive linemen banged up in this game and struggling mightily here already this season, and in the first half, he just gives them with his feet. He gives them a chance. You know, you're going to get some pressure. You're going to have an offensive line that's going to have its growing pains, but he can move a little bit. We've seen him a couple times on the fly throw beautiful footballs, and to this point, you mentioned it, the 41-yard touchdown pass to Helton was his first touchdown pass. Everything, all the other damage that he has done have been with his feet. Everybody wants to talk about his feet, but he can also throw it too. And that's got to feel good seeing all those points up on the board and back-to-back drives by the Seminoles if you're an FSU fan.
Fair catch from Gowdy. Toafili now 6 carries and 50 yards and that touchdown, the first of his career. And now a message from Works Landroid.
Works Landroid Robotic Lawnmower. Available at mylandroid.com. The future of lawn care is here.
Landroid's cutting like Toafili right there. You see him shake that soccer ball?
12 plays, 78 yards, a sustained drive for over 4 minutes, and they only threw the ball once against Coach Gross's defense. 11 rushes by Florida State on that drive, and as a team right now, they're up to 122 yards total rushing, and Toafili took it in from 13 yards away for the score, and the first lead of the game right now for Florida State at 28-24. Cooper 14 of 16, 142 yards. Has not thrown a touchdown pass. A little bit behind the receiver, but caught at the 35 as we go down to Lindsay.
Thanks, Tom. Zarek Cooper has looked extremely solid here today. You and James have been talking about it. I spoke with Zarek earlier this week, and he said he's really focused today on his decision-making. Offensive coordinator Jimmy Ogle said it's something that they've been working on together. Said they're really trying to focus on him knowing exactly where he's going, maybe simplifying a little bit so he can play faster. Guys?
Well, it's working, Lindsay. He's been accurate and precise. Here he is again, a nice little touch pass and some good blocking outside.
Talking about a quarterback in Zarek Cooper who is approaching 7,000 career passing yards and third in school history at Jacksonville State. Pat Jackson on the play for the Gamecocks. We mentioned those TD passes because he only needs one to tie the school record, James, for a career. The school record is 61. He goes down at the 40. Not enough time to get rid of that football for Cooper.
Good job by Florida State. They had one sack coming in. I believe that's their second sack of the game. Nice job covering initially and not much time at all for Zarek Cooper. He's got to tuck it and lunge forward a little bit, but here's a big 3rd down and 5. John Gross knows it because Florida State right now is rolling offensively. They were in a similar situation just moments ago here in this 3rd quarter. And Florida State let him sneak one out the backfield for a big gainer. We want to get off the football field right here. Who's going to make a big play?
4 receivers set for Cooper. He'll put some touch on this one down the sideline. Receiver and defensive back tangled up just a little bit, but it's a clean play, no flags. Looking for Russell, number 80. Amari Gaynor, Asante Samuel in that secondary for Florida State.
Yeah, John Cross says there may be no flags, Tom, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a clean play. There you see the grab it, and you know, and Asante Samuel Jr. He needs to learn from Pops. You got to wear the white gloves when your opponents have the white jerseys. That red glove stands out a little bit right there. Got away with it though. Still looking for interception number 3. Player from Sunrise, Florida, Asante Samuel Jr.
That'll bounce near the 20. Helton fields it near the 6. Gets away from a couple tackles, and then he's taken down short of the 10. Second half action. Florida State picking up right where it left off in the first half.
Absolutely. There's the nice throw to Terry, 48 yards from Jordan Travis. And there he is, Webb, rolling his way into the end zone. There's your field goal connect from Karajic.
21-yard field goal, but then turning the corner and blasting his way to the end zone. Lawrence Toafili, 13 yards in his first career TD run in an Noles uniform. 21-14 was the lead for Jacksonville State at halftime. Florida State trying to keep its record against the football championship subdivision perfect on the sidelines. Wilson broke away and broke some tackles.
Wow, get it out there to him in space. And Pokey Wilson making a few guys miss and almost making it a great big play. Cue up the fireworks. Got some buddies over there helping out, including Tamari and Terry. Nice play on first down.
And 17 yards on that play. Here's Corbin going second level. Beyond the 40, up to about the 43-yard line. Jay-Sean Corbin, the sophomore, Rockledge, Florida. 16 yards on the run, Corbin.
Putting the pedal to the metal right now. Florida State, you got them on their heels. And there you go, see the creativity and just getting out there, almost sandlotting it on the fly. Pitch out there on the run from Jordan Travis to Wilson. And they've got a defense that's already gassed here in the second half on their heels. They've given up 4 touchdowns in a row on 4 consecutive drives, and the Noles want more.
Wilson's the leading receiver with 7 catches for 55 yards. That previous drive was all on the ground for Florida State, mixing it up a little bit more. There is a Gamecock player shaken up. That is the 5th player to go down for the Jacksonville State defense this quarter.
And they keep going after those calves, and so it's, you hope it's the calf and not the knee, but it's a couple players before it was cramps, it seemed, and now they're, looks like with Corian West, they are looking at his knee, but it's been a rough second half for this defense, doing a whole lot of chasing.
It's been an efficient drive for Florida State. 4 plays, 52 yards, plays of 17 yards, 16 yards, 12, and 7. And those are numbers that Mike Norvell has been looking for. Didn't get him early in this game. Jordan Travis, though, coming in, and as Coach Norvell told us and told Lindsay, providing that spark needed as they attend to Decorian West for JSU. 6'3", 325 pounds, and a sophomore, Columbus, Georgia.
Big dude. Dude right there. There you saw the numbers in this second half, and that's more like it. You know, the only number after this rough start for Florida State and head coach Mike Norvell that matters to that gentleman right there is 1 win. Get that first win finally.
Florida State now is up to 372 yards of total offense as West is up and trying to put some weight on that leg. 199-71 in total yardage in favor of Florida State for this quarter. With 2:39 to go. West will need some assistance to get to that Gamecocks sideline.
Saw John Gross out there checking on his defensive lineman. This is a team that just last week, the first time they've been quarantine free. They've made it work and got here healthy in that bubble for the last week or so.
This was the outfit for West in warm-ups. Trying to keep that heat in.
Or intimidate the Noles. Wow. Something, but man.
I don't think he wore that under his helmet. Trying to take necessary health precautions as well, perhaps, for West.
That's his mask, huh? Covers everything but the nose and mouth.
Hopefully we won't need one of those in Syracuse next week, James, and the temperatures will be favorable. Of course, inside the dome, it's always about 71, 72 degrees, so that's good.
And they now have air conditioning.
They're putting the finishing touches on that system, is what they were telling us, but yes.
But since the roof is no longer supported by the vacuum, by the air, they can open the doors.
That's right.
To get a breeze in.
That's right.
All right.
It's not the pressurized roof system anymore. There's many million pounds of steel support truss on that roof now. That pass is complete to Marion Terry.
There's the ISO over there. Just you got to respect the speed. I mean, you can't help but give them cushion. When you got that much cushion, of course you're going to sling it out there to Terry all day long and go right back that 1-2 punch that's been working here through the air and back on the ground.
Prior to that run, that Terry catch is 5th of the game for 71 yards. That now gives him 106 career catches in his incredible Florida State career with Tamarian Terry. Runner bounces off the pile. Toafili. They chase him down on the edge.
Again, the individual effort. It's been a group effort that guys playing in concert that's starting to look a little bit better as they move efficiently up and down this football field. But then you've seen after the initial contact, after that initial lick, guys like Toafili refusing to go down. He was stopped for what looked like a couple of yards behind the first down marker. He refuses to drop, bounces it outside, moves those chains.
We're going to throw this one. Helton trying to muscle his way to the 10-yard line. And out right near the 10. A lot of high percentage passing plays for Jordan Travis on this drive, James.
Well, and they're working because you've got the run working. You know, when the run works, when one thing works, everything seems to work. And you got to freeze. You can't go running out of there on a play-action pass.
Jordan Travis near the 5. And now just 30 seconds to go. 1st and goal, Florida State. Piling up the first downs. Didn't start out as planned for the Noles. Trying to get to the pylon and diving in for the touchdown. Webb for Florida State to the end zone. 6 yards on the carry from Webb.
The Jones College transfer. Hey, look at Jordan Travis trying to get out there and get a piece of one of the defenders to lead the way for LaDamian Webb. Touchdown number 2 for number 8. And that's 5 straight touchdown drives for the Florida State Seminoles, who were trailing by a touchdown at halftime.
Fitzgerald, the extra point, the redshirt freshman. That's off the mark and no good. So the lead is 10 with 16 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. And the second TD run of the game for Webb.
And there you see the hustle of Jordan Travis. He gets that pitch out there and goes and tries to hit somebody. There's the extra point that missed, and instead of an 11-point lead, it's just a 10-point lead for Toafili and the Noles.
Toafili has a touchdown run, so does Webb. He's got 2 of them, and all of that scoring's in the third quarter. 5 straight drives, as James mentioned, with touchdowns. And it started with the 2 late TDs with Jordan Travis coming into the game for Florida State in the second quarter. Travis had his first career TD toss to Keyshawn Helton of 41 yards in that second quarter. And all of a sudden, that 7-point halftime lead has evaporated for Coach Gross and the Jacksonville State Gamecocks.
Yeah, and you know what the beauty of it is? If you're on that coaching staff on the offensive side of the ball for FSU, Kenny Dillingham, the new offensive coordinator, there's only one football, so you got to share it, and it just creates such a good competition, you know, a healthy competition in that running back room. When you look at 3 guys that are running so hard, and Corbin, Toafili, and Webb.
Now up over 400 total yards in the game at 409. 231 pass, 178 rush, and a 10-point lead, 34-24.
See the smiles and fist bumps over there on that sideline, and that's kind of what you expect at a place like Florida State. You got a team, an FCS team that comes rolling in here, and you know, late in the game in the fourth quarter, you expect to see a couple of those starters over there kind of catching their breath before they got to get prepared for Notre Dame next week. Hasn't been quite as smooth early on, but they're starting to kind of get lathered up a little bit late and get some feel-good going. Now defensively, can they get off the field again? Don't let Zarek Cooper and company drive down and make this a 3-point game.
Noles have won 3 of the last 4 against Notre Dame. Their opponent next week as they travel to South Bend, Notre Dame, Indiana. Could be the final play of the third quarter, final seconds. And that quarter belonging to Florida State. 10-point lead, 34-24. The Noles control the third and take the lead against Jacksonville State from the football championship subdivision. TDs on 5 straight drives with Jordan Travis at the controls for all of them. It'll be a 2nd and 3 play to start our fourth quarter for Zarek Cooper and the visiting Gamecocks from Jacksonville State. Wants to throw it. He's going down. Thought about throwing it. Hung on to it on 2nd and 3. Marvin Wilson. 6'5", 305, and the senior from Houston, Texas, disrupting this play as Cooper just couldn't get rid of it, and Wilson made him pay. Third and 8. Just 2 of 7 on 3rd down conversions. JSU. Cooper's pass complete to Trey Barry. That is short of the marker, which is at the 35-yard line or so, and it's 4th down.
You can have that one all day long. Underneath on 3rd down and long, we'll just break up on you and make the tackle. And getting off the field in a hurry. That Seminole defense trying to keep that offense clicking.
Just a flip of the switch in the second quarter and a change at the quarterback position. Hilton watches it bounce and roll, and inside the 10.
Gotten a couple nice rolls here in the second half on those punts.
61 yards on the punt from Preston Knight. Timeout when we come back. Florida State inside its own 10. 1st and 10, and leading by 10 here in Tallahassee.
Discover the family of award-winning Mazda CUVs.
The NBA Finals.
Davis at 3.
Noon, Pitt at Virginia Tech. That's at 3 Eastern. ACC Women's Soccer.
You're working for the weekend.
I'm trying. You know, we had a few months off there, so we're happy to be we're happy to be working. And again, tip of the cap to our production crew as well.
That kid's a swimmer right there. I know that A-tag. That's a pretty good swim club here in town. Turned out a lot of good talented swimmers. Got to take care of the swimmers. Sorry to cut you off.
I know, James. I know.
And the Marius swimmer, you got to always take care of them. They work so hard.
Yeah. Especially the one who's at Florida right now in your family.
Italian, and you know that's really nice to have a home game, home team anyway in the state of Florida. You know, is be able to drive over after we got to see a little orange and blue swim scrimmage, that Gator swim team, and those numbers here today. 173 for Jordan Travis, and gosh, here's another guy going down.
That's number 9, Darius Joyner. Did you see that graphic, James? That's more today than combined in his first 2 years in a Florida State uniform through the air for Jordan Travis.
Well, and it's his high school coach, as I mentioned earlier, you know, he'll be happy that they're giving him a chance to air it out and show off his arm a little bit. It's paying off for him.
All right, let's take a quick timeout. Jordan Travis, Mike Norvell, and the Noles lead it by 10 against the Gamecocks.
Want an easy way to help take care of your vehicle?
He was going to be on the same track as an able-bodied athlete.
The Blade Runner has
1 yard touchdown from Jordan Travis to Helton. And Jordan Travis on the ground. Watch the little big man. Webb spinning, rolling his way into the end zone. And over in the right corner, Lawrence Toafili on the ground. One more time with Webb, LaDamian Webb, the sophomore from Opelika, Alabama, has been very active, as has been Toafili and Corbin. And wow! Dodging a bullet, Florida State. Almost the second pick six of the game for Fuquay, Tom, who intercepted early on in the first quarter to start the scoring and ran it back to the house off the hands of Rodemaker. Oh, he almost had 2. Oh, and he knows it. What an effort to go up, knock it down, just out there in that passing lane in the window.
Florida State 7 of its last 12 on third down. They've converted the last 4, but whistles stopped this play from developing. It's like a timeout for Florida State.
Timeout.
It's first, utilized in the second half. Timeouts all around. 10-point game. 12:44 to go in the fourth from Bobby Bowden Field.
Every time I start it up, it's like a
Webb, LaDamian Webb, the sophomore from Opelika, Alabama, has been very active, as has been Toafili and Corbin. And wow! Dodging a bullet, Florida State. Almost the second pick six of the game for Fuquay, Tom, who intercepted early on in the first quarter to start the scoring and ran it back to the house off the hands of Rodemaker. Oh, he almost had 2. Oh, and he knows it. What an effort to go up, knock it down, just out there in that passing lane in the window.
Florida State 7 of its last 12 on third down. They've converted the last 4, but whistles stopped this play from developing. It's like a timeout for Florida State.
Timeout.
It's first, utilized in the second half. Timeouts all around. 10-point game. 12:44 to go in the fourth from Bobby Bowden Field.
every time I start it up, it's like a
Touchdown runs in the third quarter. LaDamian Webb of 15 yards and 6 yards. Here we are, 34-24, 12:44 to go in our fourth quarter. Florida State looking for its first win of the season. James 0-2.
Well, a big third down coming up right here. If they want this winning streak to start today, they got to hang on. A lot of football left to be played. This is a big 3rd down and 4. just down 10 points. Jacksonville State, let's see if they can get off the field here.
They've made their last 4 third downs. Travis has another one up near the 20. And they've converted their last 5 on third down. Jordan Travis on the run.
Well, off the top, we talked about Florida State getting back to having fun. Well, what's fun? Competing, scrapping, being successful, winning a football game. Takes a big pop, but he gets up with a big smile ear to ear because we'll be able to eat a little bit more of this clock off here in the fourth quarter. That's a big first down pickup. And again, that's all he's done ever since he stepped into the football game. Jordan Travis has just helped this offense roll along when they were stuttering so much.
Travis throws it deep. Incomplete to Tamarian Terry. Couldn't catch up with that one. He does have 5 catches for 71 yards, but that's incomplete. And back there was Nicario Harper.
Well, if he has just a couple more seconds to get some air under that football, that is number 6 of 70 yards or more touchdowns in the career of Tamarian Terry. It's just the rush was there. Travis had to let it go a little bit too fast. So a second down and 10.
It's an amazing number you just put out there, James. Those long TD catches from Terry. This one to Douglas. You're talking about winning streaks as there is a flag on this play. Gary Patterson has got the mic.
Holding. Number 6. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Keyshawn Helton is number 6. The winning streak against the FCS, James. 25-0 all time against the football championship subdivision for the Noles.
There's a look at the hold right there, easy to see. And that's one thing that FSU didn't do against Miami. Not that it was the only difference. They ran into a buzzsaw down in there in the bottom against the Canes, but too many penalties there. And penalties would have killed these drives in the second half, but they played clean football. You got to keep it clean.
They allowed Miami last week over 500 yards of total offense. Toafili on the carry. He's got a TD run in the third quarter. The last scare against an FCS team, you have to go back to September of 2018. They beat Samford 36-26, but it was Levante Taylor, an interception late in that game, and led to the winning points. Took care of Alabama State from the championship subdivision last year, and that's Travis. Nimble and crafty, and he'll allow himself a little bit of a smile after the run, but there is
holding.
A flag.
Offense, number 68. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat third down.
Watch out him out there, just making plays, and he feels so comfortable out there. Nobody to the right, he's going to roll, and he's really got a two-way go. Hey, he could have thrown the football, and instead he turns him into a blocker for him, and he knows what he needs to make those sticks, but instead with the hold, they're going back the other way, and that's a tough one. Now it's third down and forever. Just take care of the football here. Don't give him that short field on a turnover.
Pretty good on third down, 9 of 14. This is third and 20, though. Travis. He'll tuck it. It's thumped out of bounds near the 25-yard line. He's playing with confidence, though, James.
He really is, and it's infectious. It's rubbing off on the rest of his teammates. You can have a Terry with confidence or McDonald at tight end with confidence, but coming from a guy that touches that ball every single snap, you want your quarterback to have more confidence than anyone on the field. It's a little short there on 4th and 4, and so chance for Jacksonville State again.
Charleston, the deep man, 25-yard line. Nowhere to go. Covered by the Noles. 10-13 to go in the fourth. Gamecocks have the football when we come back, but the Seminoles have the lead, 34-24.
Introduce.
defense has got to get back out there and get another stop, which they've had more and more. They've done a good job on the 3 and outs here as of late.
Have not lost to the football championship subdivision. We told you about that game a couple of years ago against Samford. That was a close shave. No problem with Alabama State out of the FCS last year, a game that we got to call with Odell Higgins as the interim head coach. He's still on the coaching staff.
And I'm glad, too. Good for Florida State, good for Odell.
You know, he's now the longest tenured assistant because Bud Foster, defensive coordinator for Virginia Tech, retired last year. So Cooper trying to get something rolling. And he'll do it on that play up the sideline. That looked like West.
Odell Hagen's a big dude, though. I don't think that lunchbox that Foster carried around, that carry enough lunch for
James. Jacksonville State is having its troubles with injuries here. Players continue to go down. You know, give them all the credit in the world. This is their first game of the season. P.J. Mixon, number 76. I mean, their season was totally up in the air. They're going to play 4 games in the fall. That's Mixon trying to come over and make a block on number 7, Jarian Jones.
There you see him at the 25, and he goes airborne, and boy, he was trying to put the hurt on Jones. Instead, Jones able to dodge it, but in the process, the big man banged up. And transfer from Western Kentucky. They've got a couple of those on the team. Looks to be all right. That's a good sign. Nobody helping him off, so.
James, you know, we promoted a couple of times that next week we'll be at the Dome for Syracuse and Duke. Duke is now late into the 4th quarter with Virginia Tech, which won last week. 31-28. Virginia Tech has the football and the lead, but that's late in that one for the Blue Devils, searching for their first win of the season. So we'll see them next week against the Orange. They're 1-2 on the season after their win against Georgia Tech last week. In this crazy season in 2020, once again, we commend everybody involved, the schools, the conference, the support staffs, the folks here in Tallahassee, and our production crew and all the stops along the way in the ACC. What an incredible job they've done so that we can play college football in 2020.
I hear you, partner, and you know, and it feels good to go call it a game like we did up in the Carrier Dome last weekend, but it's even nicer to have some butts in the seats, if you will, and have some fans here and able to cheer on their Noles as they try to turn the tide. And there's a nice stop talking to turn of the tide, turning back that running back defensively for Florida State. So a 2nd down and short, nothing doing. Let's see if they can do the same on a 3rd down and short.
Just 2 of 8 on 3rd down. Cooper flush from that pocket, slides past the 40. That should be good, up to the 42 for a 1st down, Zarek Cooper. When we're talking about Syracuse, Syracuse is the last team to defeat Clemson in the regular season. That was at the Carrier Dome. Cooper was in that game. He had to come in for Kelly Bryant, who was injured in that game. That's going back a ways now because Clemson's won 31 in a row and going for 32 in a row in the regular season against Virginia today. Cooper, the Clemson transfer, wants to throw. Under pressure and just got rid of that one.
Late flag there in the backfield, probably a hold.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, ball to the head, number 11, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Janaris Robinson is number 11.
I didn't see it live, but this one, hold your breath here, Seminole fans, because remember, they can go back, even though they didn't call it targeting. The blow to that, okay.
I mean, tough for Robinson. He already had his arms up in the air, James, and tried to steer away, but just couldn't do it. Quick conversation with his head coach. Very quick and one-sided, as they often are.
Coach, I tried to steer away, but I just couldn't do it. I had to give him the Hong Kong Phooey on the neck.
Letter of the law. Foul against Florida State. This a long pass down the seam, intercepted in the secondary near the 10-yard line. Asante Samuel Jr.
Wow. interception number 3 on the season for Asante Samuel Jr. That one's pretty easy. He had an easy one against Georgia Tech. Jeff Sims, they're the true freshman quarterback that should have a pretty bright future there at Georgia Tech, but he had trouble dealing with 26 in that victory for Georgia Tech, mind you. But 2 picks, and then he actually had a fumble recovery against Miami last week. Just a turnover machine.
That was a loss, though, here at home against Georgia Tech to start the year, 16-13.
Papa Asante Samuel, 2-time Super Bowl champ, 4-time Pro Bowler. Played his college ball at UCF. Some pretty good talent around that time. A couple years ago down there in South Florida at the cornerback position. That Pat Surtain, cornerback now at Alabama. Played down there at American Heritage High School. Asante Samuel Jr. went to St. Thomas Aquinas.
Dad had a couple of Super Bowl rings, James. 11 years in the NFL for Asante Samuel, most notably perhaps with the New England Patriots. Saw that news. Their game got postponed. It's supposed to be tomorrow. Cam Newton testing positive for COVID-19. Fourth quarter, 7:42 to go. Mike Norvell had to go through that as well. Last week he had to watch his team play at Miami, testing positive for COVID-19, up to full strength this week, and trying to lead his team to victory. And I think he's found his starting quarterback for the time being, James Bates. Not James Bates, Jordan Travis.
He doesn't want that.
Yeah.
He doesn't want that.
I think the folks around here remember you from 1996. Don't you think, James? Maybe not fondly.
Well, regardless, they don't want me throwing the football. And how about this, man? Jordan Travis, just gritty, just finding a way to get those chains moving. Hey, let's not flirt around with this. I mean, that's been the game changer right there for Mike Norvell. Is Jordan Travis.
I mean, he knows what tradition exists here at Florida State, James. 3 times national champs. 93, 99, 2013. In the title game in the Sugar Bowl in 96 against Florida.
You know, to come over here and to watch the highlights of all those wonder years here. Dunn, Derek Brooks, you know, even Sebastian Janikowski. It's like, you know, these guys, it's just fun to watch them up on the Jumbotron, and that's where they're trying to get back to. They're taking a look, make sure that he did gain the line needed for the first down. I mean, you know, just sacrificing his body, and we've seen him go out there and try to do it blocking. You know, James Blackman's dinged up a little bit, and Jordan Travis didn't practice much this week because he was hurt a little bit from the Miami game. And still, he's going hat to hat.
Maybe the pride was the most thing that was hurt last week against Miami, but that is now a distant memory, and trying to establish a winning tradition this season. A good place to start against this Jacksonville State program, which had the lead early on. It was it was dicey, as they like to say.
Well, it's still, this game isn't over. A 10-point game, anything can happen. But you know, with all due respect, that Miami game, I don't know if it'll ever be a distant memory. I mean, I look at this field every time I come here. I remember the choke at Doak. We were up 31-3. They came back and tied it. And, you know, it's just those rivals, it feels so good to beat them. But unfortunately, it's one of those deals where you remember the bad times sometimes a little bit more even because it eats at you. First down stands.
The official review complete, and a first down for Florida State. So Jacksonville State went up 21-7 in the second quarter. Florida State has outscored them 27-3 since that point. 34-24. 6:50 to go in our game. Hughes hands it off. Barreling up the middle. Toafili.
This gives this offensive line, a chance to go back and look at some things. Hey, when we're working together and we're getting a hat on a hat and we're moving people around, this is what we can do. And it's a pretty decent defense that they've gone up against. We saw that in the first half. So maybe one of the most important things you take out of this game is that you've gotten an offensive line that's had a little bit of success here in the second half.
238 rushing. Toafili got 20 on the previous run. This is Corbin. So we've seen Corbin. We've seen Webb and Toafili, and both Webb and Toafili have taken into the end zone. Webb twice in this game.
Last year, they made that rule that you couldn't write on your eye black anymore. And Corbin's got some writing on his eye black. I'm not trying to be the eye black police. I'm just trying to make sure I remember the rules.
Florida State a year ago was 6th in the conference in total offense. They averaged just over 400 yards total per game, and 9th in scoring, about 28 points per game. Near midfield on the catch, Tamarian Terry. Third and short after the Terry catch. Terry went crazy in the Sun Bowl at the end of the season. 9 catches, 165 yards, both career highs for Terry to close out last year in the Sun Bowl.
It's so good to hear that he's had such a good week. He banged up against Miami, didn't play much in that game, and that he just kind of led the charge of getting this thing turned back around. He and McDonald both had great weeks of practice. Asante Samuel Jr.
Snap infraction, number 53. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Sun Bowl, unfortunately for Florida State, was a loss to Arizona State, 20-14, but their 48th bowl game in program history, starting back in 1947. We've got 3rd and 7. The ball at the 46 of Florida State. Travis has to evacuate the pocket throw on the run. Open man at the 35. Dancing at the 25-yard line, Wilson. First down and more, Florida State.
Great job. Fuqua comes on the blitz. They pick him up. And Jordan Travis spills out of that pocket. And that's really where he seems to be at his best, when he's just creating on the fly, on the run, and just setting up shop right there on the sideline for his quarterback is Pokey Wilson, who's had a nice game.
Timeout. Injured Jacksonville State player.
And it is Fuqua.
Fuqua down for Jacksonville State. This play went for 31.
There you see it was LaDamian Webb doing a good job on the blitz pickup.
Wilson making a miss. Ontario Wilson, 7 catches, 86 yards, is the leading receiver in this game for Florida State as they check on Fuqua. Scores in and around the ACC. I told you about that NC State victory on the road at Pitt by a point. Wake Forest won on Friday night. North Carolina defeats Boston College, so North Carolina's 2-0. BC first loss of the season. And they're now in the 4th, and it's a 10-point difference. Virginia Tech and Duke. We'll see Duke next week at the Dome. And coming up at 8, Clemson and Virginia. Rematch of the ACC championship game from a season ago.
Should be interesting. You know what? It's good to see here Fuqua pop up. I just got really sad, Tom, because I like going calling those games up at Boston College. And part of the reason they always have that great clam chowder in the press box. There's no way during COVID times that they're going to have soup just sitting out
I don't think so. I just hope they let us into the building.
Yeah.
You know, we're happy to go wherever you want to send us to call ACC football this season without question.
And if you can give us soup with a lid, that's just a bonus.
James, no soup for you in Chestnut Hill.
I know.
Okay? No soup for anybody, really. But that's all right. That's a minor detail.
But you can't have a trail mix bar and a sanitary wipe.
Yes, I'll take it gladly. Virginia hasn't beaten Clemson since 2004 as they renew that ACC rivalry tonight in about 40 minutes. Run game for FSU. They're going to be close to 250 yards as a team rushing the football this afternoon after that carry from Toafili.
Well, Toafili, you know, every time he gets up off the ground, he's still gripping that football. He's got it locked in. He seems to take a lot of pride, well coached, in not even coming close to losing the football, and he'll stay in there. And again, you know, it's got to be exciting for Seminole fans. You've got young competition, guys like Webb, Toafili, and Corbin fighting to carry that ball. There you go again.
This is Toafili out near the line to gain.
I think this Gamecock came in late, Tom, and their flag came down. Looked like it.
Harper making the play for JSU, but let's sort out any sort of penalty markers.
After the play, dead ball, unnecessary roughness. Number 8, defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
Yeah, you know what? They could and should take a look at it. You know, it's a 4-game season, and Macario, Harper hoping that they get this ball snapped before they decide to take a look at it, because that's the definition of a targeting call right there. And I don't think it'll happen. I think they're going to take a look at it, unfortunately for Harper. But those are the rules. You got to avoid that hat, and especially on a late hit. And the transfer from Southern Miss, and with 2:50 left in this game, is maybe going to miss not only the last 3 minutes of this game, but the first half of the next one. And they've only got 4 to play in the fall.
Macario Harper is number 1. And there's the hit right there on Toafili, who, by the way, has 12 carries for 99 yards and a touchdown. And he took a pop on the side of the helmet there from Harper. Play was well out of bounds also.
Yeah, it's it's good to see these guys continuing to play so hard to the final whistle, and they were ready to go here in their season opener, but that's just that's a silly penalty, and it's going to cost your team not just tonight, but in your next game, which they have next Mercer. They've got Mercer next weekend.
After further review, it was determined that number 1 defense was guilty of targeting. Number 1 is disqualified for the remainder of the game. The penalty enforcement remains the same. First and goal.
There's that targeting rule, and the only thing really changed to the rule this year is Harper does not have to leave the sidelines. He can stay out there, but he can't play, of course, anymore. Disqualified is different from being ejected. If you're ejected, you're sent to the locker room, but that's the only thing that's really changed with the targeting here in 2020.
523 yards of total offense for Florida State. Trying to get it in the end zone. Down near the 2-yard line with Jashawn Corbin. Look at that sky beyond Doak Campbell Stadium. There is a player down from the previous play.
Beautiful sunset.
What an evening. Temperatures in the mid-70s for most of the day as we approach 7:30 on the East Coast. So glad that you've been with us. Tom Wormy, James Bates, And Lindsey Rowley on the sidelines, overcoming all of the challenges of those interviews with the coaches. Great work by our technical crew to be able to give some insight. And it's picture perfect, especially if you're a Florida State fan. It didn't look so great early, James. It was a little rocky. Looks like Robert Johnson was the player who was down for Jacksonville State.
Losing that nameplate.
It's been a rugged afternoon and evening. Jacksonville State from the football championship subdivision. Jacksonville, Alabama. Looking for the end zone and in. Jay-Sean Corbin. Touchdown, Florida State. Couple of yards on the run for Corbin. First fourth quarter points of the season in their third game of the year for Florida State as Corbin takes it to the end zone. It's now 5 rushing touchdowns. Travis has 1. Corbin, 2 from Webb, 1 from Toafili.
Well, and you can tip the cap finally to that offensive line and opening up some big holes for these backs to run through and running hard. An offense going from 0 to hero a little bit, making things happen. Jay-Sean Corbin, the Rockledge High School in Rockledge, Florida. Product that went to Texas A&M before transferring back to the Sunshine State.
6:23 on the drive. 11 plays, and they march at 88 yards. Florida State racking up the numbers now. 256 on the ground, 273 through the air, 529 in total, and they've allowed just 251 to Jacksonville State, which led 21-7, 14-0, 21-7. But Jordan Travis coming in that second quarter, James, was the turning point in this one. He's been the linchpin for Mike Norvell and the Noles today.
Yeah, early on we said, hey, maybe this is the spark. He's turned into the fire. They needed a fire lit under him offensively, and he's been exactly what the doctor ordered here for Florida State. Doing it on the ground, just the balance that they've created with these backs, letting that offensive line get into a little bit of a rhythm, a nice tempo, and just creating when there wasn't something there, when the blocks didn't come, when the pressure was there on the fly. With Jordan Travis, that's excited for him and excited for Mike Norvell, his football team, and for Florida State Seminole fans. Hey, you expect a winner. You expect to score some points. 41 points got to feel pretty good, even though it came a little bit later than you would have liked. And most importantly, to get that win in the win column, figure out a way to put together a nice-looking game plan and go chop down the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Boy, wouldn't that be pretty?
Cooper over the middle. The pass was a good-looking pass from Cooper.
Yeah, good-looking pass. And you know what? This is a good-looking young receiver. You mentioned earlier about the receivers that they had to replace. And just a sophomore, Dave Russell, has had a big day. Tough guy. Fun to watch him compete here in Bill Campbell Stadium.
Looked like Russell again fighting for extra yardage near midfield. We talked about that Florida State running game for Mike Norvell. Toafili 99 yards, Corbin 63 yards, Webb 55 yards. Now yes, it is Jacksonville State out of the football championships.